Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast line for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. We're going to talk about something today. Today is black conversation, but we say black conversation. That's just the title. You could be black, white, orange, polka dot, or lily stripes, and you could definitely be a part of the conversation that we're going to have today. And I want you to be a part of the conversation that we're going to have today because I think that is a couple of videos that I'm going to play today that's going to really spark a conversation between the guys and the girls that are men and young ladies that are a part of this broadcast that come on and we talk about different things. We're gonna talk about something just a tad bit different today. Like I said, I'm going to wait until my folks get here, and then once they get here, we're going to go ahead and play the first clip. And once we play that first clip, we're gonna talk about that in its entirety, and then we're going to continue to with the second clip. Hopefully, we'll be able to get to both clips today. If not, we'll pick up on the other one on Monday. Let me see, we got Badger here. Badger, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Yeah, man. I was telling them that we got a couple of clips we're gonna play today. We're gonna start off with the clip um that Rico sent us, and then I want to go to the clip that Zamari sent, and we're gonna talk about that one as well. Both clips are very interesting. Both clips are very interesting and tackle things from a different angle. Both of them tackle things from a different angle, and I want to talk about both of them. Like I said, we're gonna start off with the Rico clip. We're gonna talk about that in its entirety,
Which
and
one
then
of the Rico clips?
that's the one where the mother is wanting to take she actually want to take a one out on an unruly child, and they're going
Oh,
to
I didn't, I didn't get that clip.
no, he sent it to me a couple of days ago, and we was gonna talk about it yesterday, but we didn't get around to it. But we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna play the clip. Let the clip play. I think the clip is maybe about a minute and a half, something like that. Let it play in its entirety, and then we're going to discuss it. Don't want to play the clip until people because I don't want to play the clip too many times. So I'm gonna wait till we get a few people in here. Then we're gonna play that particular clip, and then we're gonna discuss it. But what do you think? Even before hearing or seeing the clip, what do you think about that, man? Is that something that a parent should do if the child is out of control, if you will? Should she turn to the authorities? Should she go to the police and have that child, quote unquote, arrested, detained, or should she take the matters in her own hand and use her family members, maybe community, to get that child in order? What do you think?
Without knowing the scenario,
No, no, let's not deal with the clip itself. Let's just deal with the situation. What should the parent do?
oh, that's what I'm saying. It depends on the situation. I mean,
Hmm.
if it's bad enough to where you're thinking about getting police involved, that sounds pretty serious.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and in your community would be able to do the equivalent if they're trying to do a scare tactic.
Hmm.
I remember, um, do you remember those when they send them kids on those jail walks?
Yeah, scared straight.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I got sent on one of those.
What to do for you?
I laughed.
Hmm.
I mean, inmates ended up sitting there just talking to me.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
the reason well, it was my mother that wanted me to go. I think I was 11,
Wow.
and it was because I was learning how to stand against her.
Hmm.
But this is my sociopath mother,
Hmm.
so she was trying to do it And I'm like, oh, you're sending me to talk to people that are the same as you or worse than you. Okay, and
Mm.
so, but at the same time, the other kids that were with me, man, you want to talk about bawling and crying and ready to go home, and they
Mhm.
just, I'll straighten up, I'll quit, and I mean, they were they
Was
were
it
scared.
was it effective for
Yeah,
them? Mhm.
and when the
Okay.
cop asked me like, "Are you okay?" and I'm like, "Can I stay here?"
Mhm.
Yeah, that sent warning signals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then about a few months later, uh, ended up in the Texas um, child care system. Me and my sister,
Mm.
because of other things. So they were able to prove she was an unfit mother.
Mm. Wow. Wow. Okay. We got a couple other people on the line here, and like I said, we got a couple of clips we're gonna play today. We're gonna start off with the Rico clip, and then we're gonna go to the Zamara. She sent a clip, and both the clips are absolutely amazing. And it's gonna spark a lot of conversation. They're definitely gonna spark a lot of conversation in one way or another. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, let me ask you this question before playing the clip, because I want to get a few more people here before I play a clip, because I don't want to play it too many times. But if a child is unruly, should a mother, if it's a single, let's deal with a single mother, should she call the police on that child, or should she lean more toward the community, her brothers, sisters, parents, or whatever, to get that child in order? What should she do? And good morning. How you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning. I guess the question would be what should she have done?
Mm-hmm.
How old is the child?
Mm-hmm.
How old is this child?
Um,
Because
I'm trying. Let's just say let's say a preteen. Let's say a preteen.
too late. It was something that was not done when
Mm-hmm.
there was 3 months and a year and 2 years when they start walking and talking.
Mm-hmm.
Should have been doing something. I'm just saying, man, because we wait till stuff happens and it's too late. Unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
the environment. What part is it? And I don't know her. I don't know. See the clip. You say you got one,
Yes.
but I don't know her. But I know society thinks the kids are friends
Mm-hmm.
till they get to the point where that friend they got start cussing them out.
Mm.
And it's like, somebody help. No, it's a little bit too late for that.
Yeah.
Now you got to call the authority
Mm-hmm.
because you got to guide a child. You can't just let them go. I got to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
I got a date. I don't know. I'm not saying that that's the situation, but um, my daddy. Well, my I my daughter at one point they was suggesting a Ritalin when she was in elementary,
Mm-hmm.
and I said I got some Ritalin for you. It's the same kind of Ritalin I had.
That belt.
You better not go back to school, and
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily having to use a bill, but straightforward conversation
Mm-hmm.
to the point where I'm the parent. Here's how this is going to go. And catch them quick. When you start seeing that first behavior, you got to do something. So I don't know her. I don't know the situation. But I know one thing. We think it's cute
Mm-hmm.
when they're 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we smile at child. Look at you. Oh, that's so cute. And they throw in the F-bomb.
Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing cute about it.
Or killing the dog or the cat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, doing those certain things, and then the friends they have. I don't know her. I don't know what the situation is, but I know that that's how we do. Because I've seen some children. I was in a conversation with somebody, just leave it open like that, and so they had some problems with their children, and they came to the house, and the child was sitting in the back of the seat, and she was just arguing with her child. Child kicked her in the back of the head.
Good Lord.
I'm saying to myself, that can't be my child.
Not at all. Not at
Because
all.
at some point, my son was taller than I was.
Mm-hmm.
But before he got taller than me, when he was coming up, I straightened that out.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have no problems with him.
Yeah.
When he was 19 or 18 or 15 or 14.
Mm-hmm.
Because he knew that it might not be a physical discipline, but it was some tough love. I bet you that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I got to say about that. I don't know what should she have called. Depends on how the child was, because some of these children will kill you.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. They will.
508.
So what you gonna do? Call the police on her. I did it. I know you finna go on, Blaine, but my son, I love him to death, but I told him to wash the dishes and put out the trash. Next thing I know, he running away from home. Go get him. I call the police, tell him go get him.
Yeah.
Bring him back over here.
Yeah.
You hold him till I get there.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have that problem no more.
Yeah. Never have to worry about that again. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We definitely love to have your input. Zamari, good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, doing well. We're gonna play 2 clips this morning, and I think these 2 clips are gonna take us through the entirety of the broadcast. We're gonna start off with the clip with the young lady called the police on her unruly child. And there was a couple of ladies that actually discussing what should she have done or what should have happened in this situation. And I think it's going to be very interesting, the take that they're going to take on this. And that's what we're going to discuss. But do you think that there's ever a situation where you should call the police on your unruly child, or should you lean on your community and your family and friends to help with that child?
I've called the police on mine. I mean, if they ain't going to listen and they think they know better, sometimes you got to. Because I think then that shows them you mean business. Oh, this is serious. I shouldn't have done that. Community isn't what it used to be anymore. And a lot of the times, there aren't a lot of people out there that have people to lean on or rely on like that anymore, too. And that's the other issue. So what other option do you have, especially if you're a single parent? And whatever the situation is, whether you have parents, grandparents that can help you or not, I don't know. It's a based I'm sorry, I'm still asleep, honey.
It's okay.
You have to go by it's situation by situation, right? So, and each individual person as well. So, what is their situation? What is their circumstance? And was that necessary? Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. Sometimes you don't have any other choice, because for some, it's a cry for help because they don't know what else to do. But what Tucson said, should have corrected it when they were younger. And I'll tell you, I did everything that I knew to do with my daughter. Did it all. And she still wanted to go her own kind of way. Yeah. So what else was I supposed to do at that point, you know? So I think it just depends on the situation as a whole. I really do. I think it just depends on how desperate you are and if you have that community or not. And like I said, a lot of people just don't anymore. It's not there.
Yes, yeah, that's true. I got a couple of other questions I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna wait till we get into the broadcast to ask you a couple of questions that I have. But it's very interesting. This is very interesting, and we hadn't even played the clip yet. Mr. Hicks, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Oh, he's smiling, y'all. Uh-oh.
Good morning, Raheem. Go family. Doing
Good
fine.
morning,
Pray
sir.
you're doing well.
Hey, doing well. Hoping I pray that you are as well, sir. What do you think should happen? Should the parent say, let's say we're dealing with a single mother, should she call the police on, say, her son or even her daughter, if that child become unruly, or should she lean more on the dad, the mom, her dad, her mom, or uncles or brothers or whatever, or the community, to get that child in order? What should happen?
Wow. Raheem, wow. That's I have 7 children, right? 2 different marriages. And deal with the what, sometimes they get unruly, you have to do what you do. I never done that, but you have to do that in a single. But what I found with my children and being blessed to live, they get a little old and have some lines of communication that I had one son who rose up against me, and it was recently too, a couple of years ago. It was really around when the Black Lives Matter thing was going on, and he was caught up in the fever of everything. And just my opinions just didn't align with what he wanted to hear, because it wasn't in line with what was going on. I was trying to tell from my experience of going through the riots of '68 in Newark. When things fall apart, that's not a good thing. And I was saying in terms of, I saw them chasing a guy carrying an automatic weapon, crazy. And if it would have been me, I would have shot too. And I think when it come down to, anyway, he disagreed and he got really, really upset and he grabbed me. And I said, "Let me go, son. Let me go." And he was drinking.
Yeah.
So it turned into a physical thing, and I took him out. I had to point it out, and he looked up at me and said, "Go ahead and kill me." And it brought me back to my senses. So it was just that instant of being in that moment with that. It was symbolic to me. One time getting in a conflict with my brother because he said he didn't, but everybody around, he had pushed her on the bed, and I drove up and I was trying to talk to him about it. And he got all rowdy, and I had to put a whooping on him. But it was always that thing. That thing was that it was a lose-lose situation because I felt so bad.
Yeah.
Because everything was, the motives was on, and I had overcome this guy because they both were trying to hurt me, and I had him where I wanted him. I could have finished him.
Yeah.
And then realizing how can I finish him? I'm gonna hurt everybody.
Yeah. Yep.
And and I love this person. But I guess it's about trying to understand that from their perspective, whatever it is, they're doing the best they can.
Yeah.
My brother was a troubled soul. My youngest son, he was born 9 years after the other kids, and he was a whole different generation. He came up to a time where you can call 911 on your parents for child abuse. He went to school with other kids who talked back to their parents and couldn't understand why it felt like it was oppression because he couldn't do it in his house. So understanding where it come from, we've grown a lot because we talked about these things, and it made them better parents with their children. And that's the legacy to pass down my mistakes and my errors, because there's always another way to handle it. In my family, everybody know, don't call the police. The police was a death warrant. Whatever was going on, this is Newark now. Whatever's going on, don't call the police. They are not your friends. They'll come in here, and I watch them. They'll come in and take over and tell you to shut up and sit down and disrespect you right in your own home. So we didn't call police. Well, Well, I guess we didn't. When me and my brother got in this thing, my mother was upset. She ran through the house. She said, "Call the police." Me and my brother was in this combat. He looked up and said, "Mama, don't call the police on there. You know, don't you call the police." This is after I came out of prison. Said, "Mama, don't call the police because you know what they're going to do." But in the heat of the moment when a child is raising up against a parent, is a very crazy feeling too, because here's somebody who took care of you, saw them as a baby, and you know you deserve better. You know you deserve, in spite of what they say, you deserve better. So it's a very emotional thing, but it goes back to the whole thing though. Breakdown of the family, not having a strong extended family, because you got a family. And I've seen some families that have uncles and cousins, and they go to Thanksgiving together. They grow up together, so that you got a support system there within the family structure. When to break down the family, we don't have those things. Sometimes you gotta call the police.
Exactly. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. I'm just up there glad to see another beautiful new day, man.
Yes, sir. We're talking about the clip, and we're not discussing the clip that and don't go too much. Just deal with this situation that we're talking about. Don't go too much into the clip right now. Go ahead and play it yet. I know you've seen it already. But should a mother should a mother call the police on her unruly child, or should she lean more on the her community, her family, being her mother, father, maybe brothers, sisters, or different people of that nature, to get that child back in order? What do you think should happen?
It depends on if she got family support that can do that. You know, sometimes you might not have family that'll step in when they should, or they'll just sit back and watch them.
Yeah.
My sister's son acting a fool over there. My sister husband whooping her butt. But you ain't going over there putting your sister husband in check, or going over there like the uncle and saying, well, let me talk to him. I get his little tail. So in a case like that, a woman might say, well, you know what, man? Last resort, I got to call the police. This boy done put a gun on me because I would buy him a PlayStation 5. And tied me up. He done went too far. I should have did something a long time ago, but that's my son. I asked my brother to say something. I asked my daddy to say something, and none of them would get involved. I don't know why. But now I don't have another resort. Let me call the police. This might get out of hand, because that can happen. You know, children kill their parents. The Melendez brothers, you know what I'm saying? It happens. The little 10-year-old boy or whatever, I think he was 10, shot his mom about the virtual reality game. You know what I'm saying? His family, all of a sudden his family got something to say now. Oh, he got these mental behavior problems. He was always a problem. She said this, she said that, but why didn't y'all help her? Now maybe she wouldn't allow them to do what they needed to do, because now wait a minute, now y'all making my baby cry. Wait a minute, y'all, he crying. He stop. I don't like to see him crying. You know, so I mean, there's a number of ways why, you know, that people, or reasons why people probably didn't step in that should have. But I mean, you know, there's always a reason under the sun to justify doing something, and there may be some reason that will justify a mother calling the police on her son or her daughter.
Wow. And so there are different layers of this thing. So, you know, that's just, it depends on the individual and how you look at it and how they take it and what the situation, I can't even talk this morning, situation and circumstances are. Tucson, what's on your heart? And Badger, coming to you next.
Yeah, I mean, we said it. I mean, I don't know about nobody else, but they see the kids these days, they'll try you. And you say, get out that building. You better be careful about that thing, because now what they do, and it happened to me, they'll call the child protection agency on you. Sure will. Yeah. And you know what I told them when they call me? They call me on the phone. And we need to make a visit to your house. I say, come on. Well, Mr. Tucson, this is a very serious matter. I say, I understand that. What time you coming? And she was, well, you know, they serious about children, because some children really need protecting.
Yeah.
And that's their job. But some of these kids take advantage of that so they can get their own way.
Absolutely.
Because their friends do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you thinking you're a good parent doing the things that's necessary to keep them out of jail and out of trouble. So you discipline them in a way that causes them to have to do what you tell them to do because you're the parent, not a slave owner, a parent, not a friend. So they get to the point because of their associates. Well, you can call the people on them, and so they come and listen, talk to the lady, and before the conversation was totally over, she said, "Mr. Son, I'm sorry."
Yep.
Because you can't. Don't be try to. You worst thing you can do is try to be equal with your child. That ain't gonna work out good.
No.
But they'll get to the point that they feel like they're equal.
Ain't
and then
paid.
you can't tell them nothing.
Look, ain't paid now bill.
Yeah. I just come home and I know I'm talking a lot this morning. What's wrong with me? I come home from work and the air conditioner on 65. Wait a minute. What's going on here? Oh, it's hot outside. What?
Bring that bill.
And they'll drink every liquid, everything that got liquid all day long. Eat up everything. Turn off every light, and then you look under the bed where the dishes at. I wish I would.
Wow. It's Tucson, that I would have loved to have seen your face when you saw that light bill when the air conditioner was on 65 like that. And you look at that light bill, I would have taken it right to my child. Look here. This yours. This yours right here.
He ain't got no job. He ain't gonna do that.
This yours right here.
He ain't got no. Go pick some pecans like we used to do.
Exactly.
We used to have to go pick pecans or something to make some money.
You better do something. But this is yours. You better come up with it. You better come up with it. You're gonna be some candles around here.
They walk around and find somebody that leaves the right.
Exactly. Something. You better do something. Mow some grass. Do something. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
I mean, everyone's bringing up a good point. And to me, it depends on the situation. You know, there's those that need it and those that it could actually save. So, it's a spectrum. And it's just one of those unfortunate things of, you know, is this a situation where the kid does need to be scared straight, maybe? Or is this a situation where, you know, Spirit's stepping in and trying to protect the child? Or anything in between? You know, you got both ends of the spectrum and everything that's in between it. So if, you know, we're talking about the actual doing it, looking on the outside in, not knowing the situation and not being involved, outside of that, you know, all we can share as of right now is our personal experiences and our personal opinion.
Wow. Let me go to Zamari, and then we're going to play our first clip of this morning. Zamari, what's on your heart, sis?
Oh, you know the difference between a child who's just unruly and a child who needs help. You know, and every summer I see it when me and my kids go up to the pool. You know which ones are which, and you watch the parents, and it makes sense why they act that way, because the parents are passive as can be, and they don't do nothing. They sit there while their kid is screaming and hollering and fussing and, you know, just all kinds of stuff. And the parents just sitting there in their own little world like it's normal. And there's nothing that they can do about it. And they're just having a fit. And that stuff is like, just get your kid under control, or you're going to have a load of trouble later if you don't. And guess what? They sure enough do.
Exactly.
Those are the kids that you end up seeing vandalizing and everything else under the moon, you know, everything else. Parents want to take a back seat now, and you can't.
No.
You chose to be a parent. You cannot take a back seat. It's a hard job.
Yeah, exactly.
But
24/7.
you know, it definitely does go down to, as far as, you know, should you or shouldn't you call the police on your kid if they're being unruly. It really does just go down to, like you said before, like people have been saying, you know, do they have the support? My husband and I, it's always just been my husband and I. We don't have aunts, uncles, none of that stuff that can step in and help. It's just us. And so the one time that I did call the police on my daughter, that was the only option I had. There was no other option. So that's all I got to say.
Wow.
Hey, let me say this right quick too before you play that. You know, sometimes when we see situations like that and the question is asked about calling the police on unruly children, I think sometimes we really don't have to have a specific situation because we have enough life experiences to sort of give an example of what we're speaking of. I think, like, as far as having wisdom, passing wisdom down to youth, I could tell a young man, listen, man, this path that you're traveling is a dead end. And I could tell him based on his behavior where he's headed, because I have friends that left here at an early age based on different ways they acted. I have other friends, and my parents had friends that they told me about, and them that I saw at a young age that left here at an early age themselves. Maybe I was 8 and they were 28 or 30. They left here. I knew about these situations. So then as I got to be an adult, I could start seeing children. I'll be like, you know what, man, I hate to say it, but that child gonna leave here at an early age. And by the time they turn 22 or 24, they either in prison or they gone at an early age. It's because, you know, there are certain consequences behind certain behavior that if somebody doesn't intervene, that key word, intervention, if someone doesn't intervene and come and give them a different direction, correct that behavior, we already know, boy, if you don't stop this, you're going to end up dead. Girl, if you don't stop this, you're going to end up pregnant. You're going to end up missing somewhere. Somebody going to kidnap you if you don't start taking better care of yourself. So, I mean, you know, when these questions are asked, it's really not, to me, it's really not that complicated, because through my own experience, I had friends that left here before 25, and I sort of knew it was going to happen. You know, I got friends that'll tell you now, look, man, Rico don't call out people deaf on the day that it happened, because he just felt what was going on leading up to that there was no other option. Somebody gonna kill you if you keep on acting like this. So certain behaviors, we know from experience, not from TV, not from reality shows, but from personal experiences, that there are certain behaviors, if not corrected, the consequence will be severe and extreme.
Exactly. I'm gonna give the phone number. We're going to set up the clip. We're gonna play the first clip. I think it's about, actually I thought it was about 2 minutes. I think it's about 5 minutes. And so we're gonna play this clip, and we might skip through a couple of times, stop it, come back and talk, or we might just play it all the way through, depending on how it flows. But let me get the phone number: 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. While I get this clip set up, we're gonna play the first one. And then after that, we're gonna go transition over to our second one. But this is the first clip right here. Let me see. Make sure I got it right here. Got everything lined up perfectly. Okay, now I know y'all love my little singing, but that's okay. Y'all don't want to hear my singing. Y'all want to see this clip. Make it larger.
This is sad.
Yeah, let's get the verbiage right. There is a law that you can press against your child called unruly child. And you pay the $40 to file. And with that, they go in front of the judge. Typically, the response is they put them on probation. And that's what happened. So I didn't put him in jail. What happened? what happened was that he went in for his routine visit with the probation officer. They did a drug test, as they often do.
She asked for the drug test. She's like, drug test him.
Yeah, drug test.
Why do you think that she had that feeling?
Yep.
Why would you want to see your child in jail instead of parenting me
It
like,
was
hey?
positive for THC, so he got some time.
Was he acting out at the time?
I had an abusive person in our house who literally beat excuse my French, out of me and her relentlessly, threw her down steps.
Not French.
Okay. He threw my mother down steps and broke her, like damn near broke her back.
Oh my gosh.
My mom's had to hit this man with an iron. I've had to literally pull pistols on this man because he's a big man.
Okay, we're gonna get to that. But why at 14?
Because of all this anger from this man that she let do stuff to me my whole life.
And in all fairness, you asked, how come your mom didn't just parent you herself? And Olivia, was it hard to discipline him? I mean, did you respond
it was
to
impossible. I've never been able to tell Derek anything. I mean, since he was little, I could discipline him. I could take everything out of his room but a mattress and a blanket, and he was fine. And I tried to parent over the madness that was occurring in the home, and it didn't work. It's my fault. I don't want any pity or anyone, what I went through. I should have left. I have since left. It was my fault. I should have.
Yeah.
I wasn't strong enough. I was weak. I was told
so you're not the only one.
Right.
It's a lot of women find themselves in situations like that, and it takes a lot of courage.
But what he was put through was awful.
leave.
But I didn't know how else to fix it.
Right.
When it was going so badly, he was getting in fights at school, and
I can't beat up the person who's abusing me, so why don't I just abuse everybody else around me? That's the logic of a teenager.
Derek, but does that make it right?
It doesn't make it right at all. I'm just saying
let's know that.
was the logic of
but does that make it right? No. It doesn't.
That's what have you ever looked up every bully? Every bully is being bullied at home.
Absolutely.
And that's why I did what I did. It's not like I was some evil, out of control child who just wanted to see people in pain.
Derek, you're older now, and what your mom did, you can't blame her for what she did.
I'm not blaming my mother at all.
So let me get this straight. This show is called Face the Truth. But the only thing y'all facing is how to degrade this black young man whose mother put him last over something.
Let's come back from right there and let's discuss this and see. There's a lot going on. Excuse me, there's a lot going on in that clip. This is the mother. Her son. She called the police on him. Went down, they had a little meeting or whatever, and she suggested that they do a drug test on him. And doing the drug test, she knew he was smoking weed. She knew. And in doing that, he came up positive. There's a lot of things that were said in this clip, and I'm going to touch on a lot of those as we go through. But I want to start off with one of the young ladies. Zamari, what do you say to this? What did you hear in that clip?
I'm going to say it sounds like Mama's making excuses as to why stuff was bad and why she couldn't leave.
Mm-hmm.
That's, leave the abusive husband, which, was abusing her son as well from the sounds of it, right? And then, of course, he's acting out. I couldn't tell him nothing from the time he was 5 years old. I could take everything away from him. It didn't matter. So what I'm hearing is she gave up. She gave up on that child before he ever had a chance.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's exactly what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
She gave up long before she should have.
Mm-hmm.
You don't ever give up on your child. But at 5 years old and you're saying, I couldn't discipline him anyway. It didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could discipline him, but it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't listen. He was just going to do it. He's 5 years old. I don't know any 5-year-old that listens that well.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think they have repetition in school when they're teaching kids stuff? Because their brains they're not going to grasp a concept one time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with discipline. So I'm kind of angry at that mother, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. And with that being said, thank you all for coming. We'll see you again Monday. Thank you all for coming. It's been a great broadcast. See you Monday. And that's it. We look here. What I mean, because truth of the matter, and that's why I wanted to go to Zamari first, because I know how she thinks and how she sees different things. But you will be amazed. And Zamari, you yourself, you will be amazed with how many women, and these women, how they can't, they try to come together and make a woman bonding situation and they did the very thing that you said that the mother did. They disconnected from him. Totally disconnected from him, totally disconnected from everything that he was saying. Nothing he said was right. Well, right. your mama this, or well, what happened. What about, are you not listening to what he's saying his issues are? Now listen to her issues too. Don't disregard her issues, but don't disregard his either. Go ahead, Zamari. Go ahead, sister. Hey, this might be your show today. This might be your show.
He was just, or she was just playing the victim card.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm hearing through the whole thing, from what she's saying about she couldn't discipline her child to where she wasn't strong enough to leave an abusive man. She's playing the victim role.
Mm-hmm.
And look, victims, they've got it tough. I've been a victim. Most of the people that are on this show have been victims of something.
Mm-hmm.
So we know what it is to be a victim.
Mm-hmm.
That woman is no victim except by her own doing.
Wow. Badger, what's on your heart? What did you hear in that clip, Badger?
Of course you'd come after her. I'm disgusted.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's an unfortunate thing, especially when the young boys grow up to be, men. They have to go to therapy. The likelihood that they'll be able to confront their parents, and I don't know what that show is. I'd break the TV watching that. It's despicable. It's the sit there, and supposedly the show's about truth or something like that, and you wonder why a child's misbehaving. A lot of times it's something to do inside the home. Yes, there's variables of things that are going on in the school and maybe hanging out with kids and things like that, but what's going on at home or the community that they're having to live in? None. Seems like I'm hoping he actually was able to work on himself and become a good member of society. The way he's talking, it sounds very possible. I just see those are the bad women that I talk about. Like, I know they exist, and it's disgusting. But the abusive male that was in the house is just as disgusting. And they didn't put the kid first. They put their wants and lust and desires first. And that happens in every community. And it happens all over the place. And for the most part, I hear people talking and ranting about it. But our mental health care system, I'm surprised the police didn't, notice anything or do anything about it. I don't know why they didn't take the kid out of the home if it was that bad. So the kid wouldn't continue to be abused and traumatized. Those are the things that bother me, or that I'm looking at. Oh, did Raheem disconnect?
Yeah, he off. If you want to just go ahead and let Hicks go.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Hicks.
You're on mute, Hicks.
I sort of stepped out. I didn't hear all this clip, but I got the gist of it. And I guess the part I feel about it is just the pain of everybody involved, the suffering of everybody involved. That it just don't appear that they have a spiritual base to rely on. You know, they don't have that connection. I didn't hear anything about a real connection with source. You know, sometimes with in families, because you're so close to the emotions and the co-creation.
Raheem.
He's still locked out.
No, he on now, but go ahead. You talking? Go ahead.
Yeah, it just you know, with emotions involved with the co-creation of the situation, because it always extend. It has a systemic cause. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, bro.
He trying to check out. He trying to check his sound, man. He trying to work his sound out. That's why I said keep going.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying, can y'all hear me?
Okay,
yes,
we can
sir.
now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
We can hear you.
Okay. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother. I'm just working this thing out. Just tripping over here a little bit.
So it was.
Oh, y'all can't hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Like I said, I stepped out. I didn't hear the whole clip, but I got the gist of it, and it just seems to me to, you know, it's very painful emotions that involve with that. You know, and I didn't hear a sense any kind of spiritual center for them, which would be sometimes what you got to rely on. But yeah, terrible situations, and I guess people don't see how they co-create in it, how they create these situations. It's not like no kismet. It's not like God is doing it to them. It's a cause and effect, and I think that's what most people lose it because there's a buffer between your action and what you're doing with children. There's a buffer, a long period of buffer, but eventually got to manifest. You got to show itself. But that's part of all plights of parents and children and growing it with how times are speeding up and the outside influences and the spirit and attitude of love yourself, do for yourself, focus on yourself. Is my time, focus on me, and rather than the whole spiritual thing of the family. But I'm passing on because I didn't see the whole clip. I can't be real accurate on that. Go ahead, Rico, somebody.
Well, you know what happened with it is that the boy gave his reason for acting unruly. And I heard the exact same thing you heard. Mm-hmm. But then I heard some confidence, some support come to the mother. Oh, it'll be all right. We understand. It was some understanding. Mm. But then, you know, you got an excuse. I understand your excuse or your reason, whatever, you know, however you want to take it. But then with the man or the young boy, mm-hmm. Ain't no excuse, ain't no reason. He's telling you, nah, I'm not using it as an excuse. I know it's wrong, but mm-hmm. I'm telling you the reason why I acted the way I acted, just like she telling you the reason why she took me to the police station. You know what I'm saying? If she justifying taking me to the police station for this reason, yeah, or giving you a reason behind saying it's okay to take me to the police station, I'm giving you the reason behind my actions, even though I knew they weren't right. And she said taking me to the police station was all right. And y'all saying, okay, we get it. You need to get it in your head. You was acting this way. Your mama should have took your little black tail in front of these police and put you in their hands. Mm. But then when she says, yeah, I should have left them. Yeah. So you stayed around for a piece of man meat, baby. Yeah. You chose some man meat and whatever. And I can imagine if you getting beaten like this and getting handled like that, it ain't a whole lot of good parenting you doing to your son, for your son. Because what kind of control or leader can you be when you being mastered and dominated in front of this same person? When both of y'all are being mastered and dominated, abused by another person, how can you see? And I'm speaking from experience. Yeah, I was sacrificed for finer things in life. I've been on my own since I was 11 years old, and my mama's still with this man. Wow. So she don't even have a relationship with her grandchildren the way she should have. And people used to always ask me, Rico, what's wrong with you? Why you acting out like that? Her and my dad came to me one time. We was talking, and we was wondering if you was okay with going to see a psychiatrist. Well, maybe that shouldn't have been my decision at 13 in the first place. But second of all, maybe y'all need to see the psychiatrist because y'all brought me in this world, and I don't even live with either one of y'all. And you still with the man that was beating on me. Now you're wondering why I act the way I act. People ask me, well, why your son fighting so much? Why he getting kicked out of school and he going to alternative school? Why he fighting 2 times in 3 days? And I told everybody about it before he started this fight. Look, his mama is bullying him. The court system is not giving me an opportunity to save him. He loves his mama. He don't want to put his hands on her, and it's going to get to a time where he's big enough to do it, but he still love her because he's been seeing other people battle and fight with her. He don't want to fight his mama. So what he gonna do if he can't beat up his abuser and he can't beat up his bully, his mama? He gonna take it out on somebody else that might be just as vulnerable or that he know he can do it with, and it ain't right.
Yeah.
But that's what happens. That's that dysfunctional household. That's what comes from that. So what I got from that video is that they didn't want to have no understanding. And I'm gonna be honest with you, y'all, ladies and gentlemen. When you ask what's wrong with these drill shooters and these people acting up, our young black men in the community acting up and our young black women in the community acting up, that is what's going on right there. These parents are putting themselves first and putting them in dysfunctional environments, sleeping with men and women, exposing them to all these different things. And the children know it's dysfunctional, but when they get out and they lose hope, they say, screw it, I don't care no more.
Wow. There's a lot going on in this clip. Toy say, preach, Rico. Toy, did you hear the clip, sis? And good morning. How you doing this morning?
Amen, Rico.
Toy, you want to tell you there?
Myrna, was that the clip where they were in court and the mother was talking about all the reasons why she put him in jail?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
That's not the one, Rico?
No, they wasn't in court. They wasn't in court. They was on that show. They was on that show with Vivica Fox that Face the Truth or something like that.
Oh yeah. Whatever, Face the Truth or whatever they were on. Yeah, I saw that. Looked like Vivica Fox clone self. Yes, it did. I thought that was. Yeah, that was. I did see that though. And so that's a real story in my life. Been there, done that, and I was like, no, you're not gonna act like you don't know why that boy got an issue with you, mama. Every time mama come around, he go to acting up. So what's the trigger? Yes, a lot of abuses. We put our families through dysfunction, which is why our black men act the way they act, which is why our women act the way they act, which was some of the reasons I said all the time. I grabbed on, hold to it, as a justification of being abused. But then now this is culture now. Now it's not abuse. I done had you because I need a check. And I had you because I need a little bit more during tax time. I done had you because I need a place to stay. So of course, when something else comes my way, I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? Do everything that I'm supposed to do as a parent. And we drop the ball there all the time and say, oh, well, I don't know what's going on. Right? We don't let some of these fathers, some of these kids be bothered with their deadbeat fathers and wonder why they're acting out. Well, the kid don't care nothing about them being a deadbeat. They still want to be with their parents. Their parents can be murderers, child molesters, all kind of terrible things, but it doesn't take away the fact that a person still always wants to know, wants to be with, wants to have that ability to be able to be with their parents. And then here you come as an adult, as a mama now. I done came out you. I got a spiritual connection and you're putting everything over me. We don't understand why these children. Let's not just go for the black man. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't talk about what goes on in other people's households, Latino or white. I'm just talking about what's going on with my black men. And they're abused from the women. So by the time they get out the house, who they finna be abusive with? And it works this way with our girls too. So, yes, I see how we don't do our due diligence as leaders when we're parents. The kids know we're not doing right. We do it in their face, and then we think that we're going to get a specific kind of result. and it doesn't go like that. So this clip right here, yeah, let me tell you something. God must have known I didn't need no kids, honey, because I'm not going to let nobody govern my kids, honey. I'm not taking no police. You finna get in line, and you getting in line starts with me, and we don't get that. See, we having a lot of these old test tube money babies, and then you wondering what's going on. But let me tell you something. Just like animals, children feel that you don't even like them.
Mm-hmm.
That you just had them for a reason. They hear you say, oh, no. I just had to tell this woman the other day, Toya, kids overrated. You don't want no kids. I say, you better not never say that in front of your children, lady. Never.
Mm-hmm.
So we take these little subtle things and use them in front of our little people, our little humans that we've created, and then wonder why we don't get respect. But respect is earned. It don't just come that way. And that's some of the issues we having with our children. That's some of the issues we having with our men, and why things are dysfunctional and discombobulated, because we're not doing things out of love. We're doing things off of need.
Wow. I think I heard someone just fall, so I think she just dropped the mic. Y'all. Tucson, what's on? Good morning, sir. What's on your heart? Tucson, you there?
Well,
yes, sir.
Yeah. I got an echo, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I did, anyway. But anyway, when I can't. Well, I will. Okay. I remember my child was small when he was a baby, and I was in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I said, it's time for that boy to come see me. I think he must have been 6 or 7 months. The response I got was, if he come, I'm going. You know what my response was? You going.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't going nowhere. Oh, yes, you will, because I'm going to raise hell with you from here on out till you get out of my house.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's my child.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care nothing about me and mama not together. That don't make no difference to me. That's not the child's fault.
Yeah.
That's something that me and another grown person have to work out for the best of that child till he gets to the point that he can function on his own. I don't care what goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And see, because we mess children up. We don't keep the relationship, and we make the child suffer.
Mm-hmm.
If the child's mother gets another after you want to act a fool. Go on with your silly self. Let them do what they do. I remember, and these are life reflections that my of my children. But anyway, their mother had a boyfriend and we was not together, and I went and to the house, and here he is laying on the couch. You know what I said? How you doing?
Mm-hmm.
My name is Tucson. Shook his hand, dealt with my children, and went on my business. Couple of days later, I get to work. He at work on my job. So after work, he's standing outside. I'm telling you why I'm saying this is because don't make the child suffer because you got issues with other grown folks.
Mm-hmm.
He's standing outside, and I rolled the window down. I said, we was living about, I know home was about 20 miles from the job.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you need a ride? He said, yeah, man, because my ride ain't coming. Okay, come on. So he wants, when we get to town, he said, just drop me off right here. The next day I got to work. I said, man, let me tell you something. I said, I know where you was going. I would have dropped you there. As long as you don't fool with my children, I ain't got no problem with you.
Mm-hmm.
We make children suffer grown folks' affairs, and we jack them up, and we wonder why they misbehave.
Wow. Wow.
That's all I'm saying.
Good deal. Good deal. We got a few other people that just came in. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play this clip one more time, so everybody could get the gist of what we're talking about and where we are with it. So let me get this thing lined up. Y'all give me 1 second here. 1 second a minute. Ain't that how they say it? Let me see. Do this right here. And while I'm getting this clip, while I'm getting it lined up, Rico, what's on your heart, brother? Give me a quick version. I'm gonna play the clip as soon as I get it set up.
Yeah, I'm hoping everybody really just listen to this clip with an open mind once again, and listen at the words that were said. Listen at how the dialogue was done. Listen at how the respect was given during who was speaking, and the attitudes, and put yourself in this young man's shoes. And I mean, you know, true enough, he spoke about what happened when he was a child, and I went there too, you know. But I want to also look at the consequence of that young man having to face these type of non-supportive, you know what I'm saying, a finger pointing, you know what I'm saying, no support. Like I said, nobody was listening to him.
Hold on. Hold right there, Rico. I'm going to play the clip, and we'll take it from there. On mute. There we go.
Yeah, let's get the verbiage right. There is a law that you can press against your child called unruly child, and you pay $40 to file, and with that they go in front of the judge. Typically the response is they put him on probation, and that's what happened. So I didn't put him in jail. Well, what happened? What happened was that he went in for his routine visit with the probation officer. They did a drug test, as they often do.
She asked for the drug test. She's like, drug test him.
Yeah, drug test.
Why do you think that she had that feeling?
Yeah.
But you want to see your child in jail instead of parenting me like, hey.
Positive for THC, so he got some time.
Was he acting out at the time?
I had an abusive person in our house who literally beat the excuse my French out of me and her relentlessly, threw her down steps.
Not French.
Okay. He threw my mother down steps and broke her, like damn near broke her back.
Oh my gosh.
My mom's had to hit this man with an iron. I've had to literally pull pistols on this man because he's a big man.
Okay, we're gonna get to that. But why at 14?
Because of all this anger from this man that she let do stuff to me my whole life.
And in all fairness, you asked how come your mom didn't just parent you herself, and Olivia, was it hard to discipline him? I mean, did you respond to
impossible. I've never been able to tell Derek anything. I mean, since he was little, I could discipline him. I could take everything out of his room but a mattress and a blanket, and he was fine. And I tried to parent over the madness that was occurring in the home, and it didn't work. It's my fault. I don't want any pity or anyone, you know, what I went through. I should have left. I have since left. It was my fault. I should have. Wasn't strong enough. I was weak. I was told
so
I was.
You're not the only one.
Right.
It's a lot of women find themselves in situations like that, and it takes a lot of courage.
But what he was put through was awful. But I didn't know how else to fix it.
Right.
You know, when it was going so badly, he was getting in fights at school, and
I can't beat up the person who's abusing me, so why don't I just abuse everybody else around me? That's the logic of a teenager.
Derek, but does that make it right?
It doesn't make it right at all.
Okay,
I'm just
let's
saying
know
that was the logic of
But does that make it right? No, it doesn't.
That's what have you ever looked up every bully? Every bully is being bullied at home.
Absolutely.
And that's why I did what I did. It's not like I was some evil, out of control child who just wanted to see people in pain.
Derek, you're older now, and what your mom did, you can't blame her for what she did.
I'm not blaming my mother at all.
But let me get this straight.
Wow.
See, Raheem, can I go from right here, man, so we don't lose focus?
Go ahead.
Because we went in some totally crazy directions just then with these comments. And just like those women wasn't listening to what that boy had to say, they was only listening to that mother. We went to talking about CPS and this and that. Listen, there's a consequence behind that man not being heard. His pain. Everybody felt her pain. Oh, we understand. You that take a lot of courage to leave. We get it. A lot of women go through that. But nobody heard his pain. when he was telling them the first part about it, her saying that she knew he was smoking, she had him arrested. She knew he was gonna go to jail for it. So she had her son incarcerated instead of parenting like he asked. They blew over that. Then he came back and said he was beating us, almost broke her back, beating the ass out of us. To let you know they weren't hearing him, they was only there to make sure that they chastise him. It's not French, it's English.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have cared if it was Chinese or Martian. Once I heard this man was in here beating on us, I would have known immediately what the problem was. But those women they were not there for him. And so that's what goes on with a lot of black men. That right there, that what they did to him is the same thing that happened to black men in these courts that are innocent.
Rico, let me say this. This is something that they said that really irked the mess out of me as well. There's a lot of things that they said, but does that make it right? Does that make it right? And my thing is, hold on, does it make it right what happened to him? Does that make it right what happened in the situation that you put him in?
Well, he didn't say it made it right.
No.
He just said this is why I did it.
Yeah, exactly. But they asked that question. As a matter of fact, I think it was Vivica. Does that make it right? Does that make it right? No. Hold on. Look at what are you hearing? What's being said before you know? You're not listening to what's being said before you. There's a lot of different things on here, man. That wow, Toy, you got a lot of things she's typing in the stand over there. I gotta let my sister talk because she's typing, her little fingers gonna get tired. Toy, will tell you what's on your heart. Says we got a couple of calls too coming to my callers next.
Yeah, I'm finna wrap it up because I gotta go to work. But no, see, that's what frustrates me. I just be saying I don't know how to be no woman because some of the things that we do when it comes to how we deal with others, especially as mothers, like we don't understand we the cancer. You know, I had my niece tell me something the other day, just as an auntie, I ain't got kids, but she was breaking it down on how I hurt her when I left New York. And that, you know what I'm saying? Like how much I meant to her. And I be thinking, I'm like, Dad, you know what? As leaders, not gonna say as parents, but as guardians, we don't understand how much we mean to these people. Yeah. So at the end of the day, when you have this person, she was like, you know, when you left me, it bothered me because you were so good to me, right? I remember you said something to me and it hurt my feelings, but I didn't even care that it hurt my feelings because you were so good to me and I know you love me. So I just let it roll off my back. So again, when I think about my relationship with my nieces and nephews of the pure love, even when I was on them hard, they knew it was pure love. They knew that I walked the way I was supposed to walk and told them the right thing. And these parents, we be acting like they don't see us. We be acting like they don't know no better. And then at the end of the day, when they get at the end of the line, they're left feeling like nobody loved them, especially their parents. Everything y'all said was key. It ain't French. What are you talking about? We're talking about abuse here. What do you did you say French? So now you're trying to insult him over him saying I was abused, and the way that I'm reacting negatively comes from the very statistics that America says is what causes at-risk youth. Come on with the jokes. But I'm gonna wrap it up with this again. The boy didn't have no option, but then on top of that, you're gonna put it on TV. I'm really getting sick of these reality shows because then they want you to beef that up some more. All that ain't 100% authentic. But then you want to take these scenarios and put them on Front Street for a profit, but still, y'all don't go in and correct these things. Hey, Child Protective Services can come up with programs to help men who have been through this feel differently. No, they won't do that, but they'll use the energy to make it entertainment and to put it on media to keep the cycle going before they do everything they can to break it. And that's the part that's really pissing me off, not only with the parents, but just with the opportunity that local law and government and media has to put an end to this kind of dysfunction. But we just want to get, lock them up until it becomes you. No, we should have locked you up for neglecting and abusing your child.
Exactly. I know that sister, she was typing what I say she had something on her heart she wanted to say, and I say, boy, her little finger's gonna get tired in a minute, so let me go ahead and call on her. But man, it's so many different levels on this thing, man, and I say stuff like that, man, but at the same time, we cannot minimize what happened and what we saw.
Can I speak?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Mr. Hicks. Yes, sir.
I was sort of beaming in on that part which say would ask, do that make it right?
Yes.
Look at the hookup of all the feminine energy, all the women around with him standing there alone, especially in this general kind of toxic masculinity. It's saying to see as a boy grow into a man and he's under these situations, like, is it right for him to be angry? Is it right for him to strike out? Now we get into right or wrong. What standard? Is it right? That their whole point was trying to go to a moral place. Okay, is that right or wrong about her? I'm saying that there's man's law, then there are natural laws. There's laws that go into nature that's built inside of a human being, even a general human being. You push a good man, a good person so far, they will strike out because it's inside of them. It's survival. You feel like someone is taking your life. It's not your physical life, they're taking your soul. So is it right? I mean, I've been in situations and I had to analyze myself, just coming to grips with myself about some of the things that I did. But I know the things that happened, it was a co-creation. It wasn't just like I was one side. I was responding and reacting to some energies coming the other way. It became a matter of life and death. It became a matter, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, or you're going to be here, because it's that kind of situation. So when someone asks me, is it right or wrong? You do what you have to do. You have to seek redemption inside of yourself from the source of creation to find out if it was right, if it's wrong, and then he'll show you all the other things that you did or said that led to the situation. It just didn't happen out of nowhere. So the biggest part, even for him, in order for him to grow or anyone to grow, there is no excuse. You can't find a way to blame anybody else outside of you for doing what you do. You have to come to yourself and this is my responsibility. I did this. Was it good or wrong? Let your soul, let your heart tell you. And everywhere I go back in my head about whatever it was, I can't come back now and justify anything I ever done. I had options and I had choice.
Exactly.
Often I chose the cause of least resistance, and that's going with the flow of my body and my sin self. Instead of standing up into what I know that was put into my ancestors about right and wrong. We no one gets away in this world. You're going to pay. No one gets away. Whether the courts catch you, whether people know, whether just you in your darkness in your room, no one gets away.
And you know what? And you know what, Mr. Hicks? Karma gonna knock on your door one day.
Always.
Karma gonna and when I say I'm talking about all of us, karma's gonna knock on that door, and when karma knock on that door, you have to answer. You have to answer.
You better answer.
Exactly. Let me go to my phone lines. VP, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Is that VP or Friday?
Hey, it's Friday. I wasn't sure if he called from home because I'm not home. So
okay.
I waited. But it's Friday. How you doing?
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing all right.
Good deal. Good. What did you hear in that clip, sis? Leonard, coming to you next, brother. Be on standby.
So I heard and what I felt like was happening is that whole interview was about that mom trying to resolve herself of her non-action in the upbringing of her child. And so she needed that platform to try to make herself feel better about the actions or the lack of actions that she took. And perhaps she was not capable of emotionally to be able to handle those things that were happening to them and around them in their home. And so it's easy to say, listening and the reversing, that she took the easy way out, but she was probably operating in denial. And I pull from that, pulling from my own emotions and my own similar actions of fighting and smoking and all these things growing up, because abuse that happened in my home that my mom was subjected to, that I was subjected to, my other siblings were subjected to. She was not, she was in some sense afraid, and and a whole lot of denial. But I don't know that that justifies her actions in terms of turning him to the system or making him unruly, because even in those actions, she was ignoring the fact that there was something traumatic happening to that child. And so you want to treat symptoms and not address the problem. And so in this interview, in the aftermath, it sounds as though is that she needed or wanted to rally in the corner with other females to say, he was unruly. Let's just focus on him being unruly and not the why. He was saying the why. And they still wasn't hearing that you had traumatic experiences, and your outlet or your outlash of that, because it wasn't treated properly and addressed properly, was that you turned to smoking, was that you know, if somebody looked at you wrong at school, now you fight because you do have that pent-up anger and animosity in you, because in your home, you can't do anything. You don't like what's happening. So that's what I heard. And it just, you know, so it makes me thankful for situations like in Connecticut that have green light manhood, that gives men space not to be judged, but to talk with one another about things in general that affect their manhood. And that truly has affected this man's manhood in terms of even having a balance about how he even interacts with other people, even as an adult. And easily frustrated because he's probably going into situations already feeling like he's not being heard.
And see, and you said something that was real powerful, and I don't want to just blow over it. Did anybody take into account that was on that broadcast, that was speaking at that on that particular platform? Did anybody take account to him and the results of what it was done, what was going on, or where he was? Did they even care? Did it appear as though anybody even cared? Or what? And I'm y'all about to get at me now. Or was it just a situation where a lot of women doing the woman bonding thing? I got you, sis. I know, you know, it happens to a lot of us. A lot of us go through something. It's unfortunate that, you know, you had to go through this. It's unfortunate that. What about the young man? Did anybody take into account what his situation was? Anybody? And if they did, I didn't hear it, or they didn't let it be known that they did take into account his situation. Leonard, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem and the Morning Glow family.
What did you hear? I played the clip again, brother. I know you heard it the second time I played it. What did you hear in that clip, Leonard?
I heard a bunch of people just acting out. Just acting out. A lot of opportunities for instruction there. So depending on the context of the issue, was they in a session? Where were they at? What was this, on a TV program? What, you know?
Yeah.
It depends on what it was. If I was in a session, it wouldn't be happening.
Now,
if you're just sitting somewhere,
explain to me, Leonard.
Program, you never know what the script said.
Okay, but explain to me, Leonard, when you say if you was in a session, it would not happen. What exactly does that mean?
Because that's the thing. You have to bring people into an environment where there are rules and respect. And you establish those rules ahead of time. So that, one, you don't have this issue. Did anybody hear me? No, everybody's going to hear you because you're going to have a turn. So no one will be left out. So everyone's going to get an opportunity to say what they need to say without being interrupted. So we're going to make sure you're heard, because you're not going to continue to use that as an excuse to hinder where we're trying to go. Because you got to have a destination.
Yeah.
Where are you trying to go with this conversation? You can't just get together and just holler at each other and you leave and nothing is resolved. What is the point? Why are we here? Why is it in discussion to begin with? That's very important. A lot of people get together and argue and think that that's somehow helping them. It's not. What's the resolution? Are you trying to resolve an issue, or do you? Because some people just want to be heard. They don't care about nothing else.
So basically,
a lot of times they may think they're justified. In everything they do, because they're not looking for resolution or trying to solve a problem. They just want to be heard.
Now, Leonard, let me say this. So a lot of times, basically what you're saying, people just want to add to the narrative. Don't want to, speak any truth.
Basically.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Basically, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to listen.
Mm-hmm.
You have to listen.
Wow.
You ain't listening to me. How can I not be listening to you? I'm sitting right here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I hear everything you say, and I'm waiting for you to finish speaking.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
But see, because you may not have no rules of discipline or know how to hold a conversation, you don't realize that that's proper in a conversation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that could be part of the problem. In a session that's trying to accomplish a goal, you have to lay it out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the goal of that conversation was. So to critique it would really not be the best. To assess it would not be what was best at the time, because you just listen and observe. I hear a person making excuses for their behaviors. I hear that.
Mm-hmm. On which end?
I don't need a side. I ain't on nobody's side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When you say
I'm on no one's side.
Okay, no, and we got to move on to somebody else. But let me ask you this question: when you say you hear somebody making excuses for their behavior, on which side did you hear that? On both sides, or one side more so than
everyone?
Mm.
Everyone is making an excuse for behavior.
Mm. Mm. Okay, stay right there, brother. Let's keep this thing going. Zamari, what's on your heart, sis?
Man, okay. So I like, what Mr. Hicks brought up about it being a whole panel of women, because, I noticed that too. It was a whole panel of women.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to get a whole group of women together to hear that poor man out and hear his side of the story? Because the moment that boy started telling his side of things, why this happened and why that happened and why he acted like this and why he did that, because he was, it's a product of his environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but the moment he started doing that, what did mommy do? Oh, she turned on those waterworks.
Yep.
Oh, but I was abused. I just didn't know what to do. And I just felt stuck and I wasn't strong enough to leave. And then the whole panel and go, oh, you poor thing. It's okay. It's not your fault. Mm-hmm. I lived with somebody like that. My mother. Mm-hmm. So her little sob story doesn't do anything to get sympathy from me. I'm looking at that poor man. His life was completely ruined, completely destroyed. His hopes, his dreams, whatever he could have become was destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
When his mother chose a man over him. Mm-hmm. When she gave up and said, oh, he don't listen anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's on her. And she doesn't even want to hear it, because like what was it? I think it was Leonard was saying, or no, not Friday. I think he said, it's a denial. She's in denial.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was in denial in the same sense. And anytime any one of us kids would come to her for that resolution to talk about I don't understand why you guys just can't let it go. Well, because we got stuff to work out, woman.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why we can't let it go, and you need to hear us.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. I told y'all we got some powerful clips, and as a matter of fact, we're gonna get to the one that Zamari sent about the news. And Cassandra had another clip, man. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get to it today, but there's another clip, man, that I would love to play today. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart, brother? It's a lot, man. It's a lot. Rico, you loving this, ain't you?
Well, well, good conversation. It's just the atmosphere. It's just where they're trying to hit things.
Mm-hmm.
This sisterhood of women, and where princess, the woman can't. It's just we talk about accountability. I mean, she asked for the drug test too. She was trying to set him up. It was, And I think that he was a bully because he couldn't fight the bigger bully. I bet whoever it was, she just was a big old muscle-bound black dude, right, with dreads, smoked ganja all day, right? He had tattoos all over him, right? He just couldn't go up against this guy, you know. And this guy, I bet he a criminal, did time and all that stuff. He was a bully. He was a tyrant.
So it was like that movie Baby Boy, huh?
Yeah. So he whooped on everybody else outside the house. I identify with that. I identify. Like I told you, my childhood growing up, right? My mother was fast. She had a right hand that was so quick, man. And she's evangelist. If I said anything that stepped out of the Bible, anything that was wrong, I showed my masculinity, my anger flared up on me. I was going through puberty. I was becoming a man. She popped me because she wanted to keep me a boy. Don't you grow up and be like your father, because my father didn't take no he take no blank checks.
Yeah, you go.
But yeah, bad situation. I think just for the mother. Yeah. It's hard for women. It's hard for women to see that they're wrong when they get so much support when they're wrong from the other women. They we got to stick together against the men, and they can't recognize that was the whole strategy to make you against your men, your husband, your fathers. You know,
exactly.
Great talk, but that's
yeah, it's a lot, brother. It's a lot. It's a lot. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
I got curious about that clip, so I started looking up the whole segment, and there's a lot of twists and turns in everything that's being said, and people need to be blunt when blunt is needed, but at the same time, so many people are so sensitive that I don't know if they could handle it. And what I saw in that video was a stigma. I think that's the right word. Of men are strong. Men are, not supposed to have these emotional outbreaks and use of drugs and all these, different things that men do. And it's hard. It is very hard to be in this society as a male. And they finally give him an opportunity to talk later, and he says, he's like, I'm not mad at my mom. He wants her to listen. He's like, you were my mom. You stood there and let this happen. Why?
Accountability
and things like that, and he's like, he's mad at the abuser. He just wants understanding from her.
Wow.
A relationship, which requires both people to go get help, to be able to find common ground, to communicate and work through the bad memories, to walk forward. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm speaking taboo in America. That's called introspection and accountability. That's taboo. Let me switch over and talk about, money real quick. I think that's more acceptable.
Yeah.
That bag. Screw you if you're a greedy SOB.
Hey,
you're part of the problem. This mental health aspect, dude. I get real heated, and I try not to get heated because I know what this show's about, and I know I'm not supposed to use certain languages. But the things I have learned, and the people I have seen break down, or when losing family members, because they didn't know where to get help. They couldn't get help. They couldn't afford it. And I'm sitting here and I'm watching, they're on this fancy show. He's venting. He feels like he's being attacked. You can see it all in his facial expressions and stuff. And then here's this, uppity dude in a suit go, yeah, we have this therapy place, that a recovery place for, drugs and alcohol and stuff, and it's music is the catalyst. I'm willing to give you 30 days. After that, he's probably going to pay for it, which means unless he's fortunate, he probably ain't going to be able to afford it. If it's taking people like Steven Tyler and things like that, that's probably a pretty expensive place. And that's an unfortunate truth.
Okay, good deal. And there's a lot of different things going on. I'm gonna go right now to Tucson. We got Curtis with. I'm gonna go to Curtis. Curtis, you up after Tucson? Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, I thought you said you was gonna go to Rico, but
I did. Did I say it, man? I get juggling stuff, man.
I know you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't leave my there because I'm interested in what you got. But here's why I keep bringing up what I'm bringing up. When we was coming up, there was a saying that we was familiar with. Grown folks are talking. You knew what that meant. Go sit down somewhere. You can't do that to these for some reason. The environment, and this is an older guy, I know, but at some point in history, or that had to stop. We had to pay attention to children because their atmosphere and their peers and society was changing. You couldn't discipline your children because the system comes in your house and tell you what you can do and what you couldn't do with your children. So when a child was saying something, the best thing you had to do, pay attention to that child. And I keep bringing up what I'm bringing up because I just feel this way. I don't put nobody we put our relationships, no matter what it is. If it's abusive, we just say, okay, that's just my husband or my companion, that's my friend, and I don't want him to leave me. And here's the child looking and taking the same abuse. And it festers. It festers. I remember. I gotta go back to this when my nephew watches his mama be in an abusive relationship, and he waited. He took it till he got grown, and he made sure that stopped. But he had to wait 16, 17 years. Well, they weren't together that long, but he had to wait till he was 16 or 17 years old to do something about it. Can you imagine for years just observing and being too small to do anything about somebody abusing not only you, but your mama too?
Wow.
And so he was the same way. Get in trouble, and maybe weed smoking is a relief because I'm just gonna throw that out here. I mean, I was young too, and I wouldn't share. I'm just saying.
Puff pass, brother.
You know how they say, puff pass. The devil is a lie. No, sir. I had to go off the grid a little bit.
Yeah, I see.
But what I'm saying is, maybe that was his escape. But don't set a trap for him. That's just what I'm hearing. You knew he was smoking.
Yep. Exactly.
But instead of that, you get the drug test and all that kind of stuff. But what I'm saying is, don't put relationships in front of children or your kids because they grow up, and some of them grow up to be monsters.
Yep. Exactly. Curtis.
Right.
Yeah, somebody say something?
Oh, I just wanted to address something because I'm going to go off the line.
Okay.
The law does not say that you can't discipline your children.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing the law says is you can't beat your children.
Mm-hmm.
It does not say you cannot discipline your children.
Mm-hmm.
And also, people need to take into consideration roles and responsibility. When you're trying to repair something that's broken, you have to make sure that you're actually repairing what is broken. Just because people don't get along and may do crazy things don't mean they have mental problems. That's not the issue. That's why professional help is needed, because everything isn't a mental problem. It may be a behavioral problem. Multiple families that have multiple children, as my mother used to say. I got 3 kids raised in the same household, and all 3 of them are different.
Mm-hmm.
How their act is going to be different. How they respond to different things it's going to be different. So let's not try to create this norm that this is what happened and this why and this why and this why, because you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You just have people saying how they feel. This is how I feel. That's what you're dealing with at that level, I believe, in that conversation that you played from that clip. That was all about feelings and emotions. They hadn't even gotten to anything therapeutic or helpful.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's good. That's good. Let me go to Curtis. Curtis, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
There was Curtis, wasn't it?
No, that was Leonard.
Leonard. Law.
That was Leonard. Curtis, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Morning, fellas. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Hi. I know you didn't get a chance to see the clip or hear the clip. I don't know if you did or not, unless you was tuning in with us. But my thing is this right here. I'm gonna give you in a nutshell. There was a situation where a young lady bought her son before a board of women, all women, and they was talking about some of the situations that happened in their life, and say that the lady, she disregarded the son in so many different ways. I'm trying to wrap this up in so many different ways, to the point where almost like that baby boy situation where she brought another man into the home. He was very abusive to the mother and as well as the son, and the son started acting out. He started acting out, doing drugs and stuff like that. She called the police on him, and I think had him locked up for marijuana and along with other things. And they was talking about the situation. Now, none of the women was actually listening to or hearing what the young man was saying about his issues. They were so sympathetic to the woman, though. Curtis, what do you hear in that situation?
Well, you just said it. Wasn't nobody sympathetic to the young boy and what he was going through, which will cause some level of some level of a mental health issue. It could cause abandonment issues. There's a number of issues that it could cause in that young man. That is a traumatic experience. To watch him get beat up and you can't say nothing about it. That causes anger management issues. The reason being is because the kid will start to think, as a child, his first thought will be, it's my fault my mama getting beat up like this.
And Curtis, and what he did a lot of times, one of his turns was he went to school and started beating up other people, because he said out of his mouth that if I can't beat up the one that's abusing me, I'm gonna beat up everybody else around me. And so that was his resolve.
Man, let me tell you something. Now this is real. This is documented. And mama brought a man in the house. The man started raping a little boy.
Whoa.
The little boy was scared that the man was going to kill his mama. We all know from, right? the man had the unmitigated gall to move his children into the house with the woman and the little boy, which was her son, for which he was raping. Guess what the little boy did?
Start abusing his kids.
He raped that man's daughter and his son.
Mm-hmm.
When it gets to the court, when it gets into the system, it all comes out. But because the man was abusive to the mama, they said the little boy made it up. The little boy sat right in front of me and told me everything that happened.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't lying. He told me everything that happened. Plus, I paid attention when it was time for visit, or when it was time for him to go home. He would always try and do different behavioral things that would get us to pull his past.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to go home. But those are things that develop into mental health issues and concerns and or conditions. That is a traumatic experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
The human condition is for the shift to blame self first.
Mm-hmm.
Then start to blame, then seek revenge. That's just the human condition.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
That's the human condition. Now, there are those that play the human condition to their favor and will do some things, and because they know that these conditions are there, will seek to prove that they have these conditions so that there's no accountability.
Mm-hmm.
There are some that get away with it. But then, I mean, the human condition says first law of man is self-preservation.
Yes, exactly.
So,
exactly.
you ain't trying to go to prison, you can do whatever you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. That is a traumatic experience.
Exactly.
Which will cause some of mental health. It will cause some form of a mental health issue.
Mental
That is
breakdown.
a traumatic experience.
Exactly. And yeah, you're right. It can lead to a mental breakdown. Absolutely. Pastor Mo, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Right, was good, man. God bless you, man.
Hey, God bless you as well.
Everybody else that's on.
Yes, sir. Good to have you. Good to have you with us this morning. What are you hearing in that situation?
Man, that's a lot to unpack, man. Couple things ran through my mind is one that is a form of abuse. I can just imagine them hazing him about the situation. Nothing good can come from that, because I guarantee they did a lot more talking than they did listening, and everything his mouth they probably contradicted or they questioned what he said, and we can program that young people are to be seen and not heard. And I'm pretty sure exactly what happened in that situation. But on a further note, a generational note, they making this man dislike women in the long run.
Yeah. So
that's going to a layer to, hey, if they disrespectful, if they doing this to me now, that is going to be his view of all women. Now, hopefully he has a mentor or a man to show him the way to say that's not really reality, what you just experienced. But there's a lot of resentfulness that can come from that type of environment. So I blame his mother for it.
Okay, I'm trying to get this next clip line up. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead, brother.
Oh no, I just said that I just blame his mom for putting him in that type of environment that there's no way he could have been successful. I yield my time.
Good deal. Anybody else have anything they want to say on this topic, man? We could go on for 4 more hours, brother. 4 more hours.
Yeah, I wanted about a minute and a half too. But go ahead, Bally.
Okay. I also watched the rest of it while I was listening and other people were talking and stuff. And as it goes on, he actually talks and shares, and he actually points out how he feels of the way they're responding. And they actually apologize for it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is also another example of when you watch just one part of it, that can be viewed as the worst section of something, and you don't do the research to watch the whole thing and how the whole process goes through. It can also give a skewed perception of the whole situation. I mean, could they have done way better? Yes. One of the people on the panel is a neuropsychologist. So their field is in that category.
Mm-hmm.
And the way she was responding wasn't, I wouldn't want her as a doctor, in my opinion.
Wasn't neuropsychologist. Go ahead.
But it still doesn't excuse them for reacting the way that they did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an unfortunate and sad thing of, like I said earlier, it's the stereotype that are put on males.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And it's so obvious in that clip. And even through the rest of it. It's that stigma. It's that that men have to be upheld to this certain caliber, and it doesn't matter what we are going through. That's the expectation.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Rico, you say you wanted to say something, brother?
Yeah, man, that's why I was glad. I was glad I let him go first, because I knew the outcome of it too. But the whole purpose of showing that clip is some people don't get that outcome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like what Badger said the first time, even more. He said some key words, understanding. That's all that boy wanted, was some understanding, and for his mom to say, you know what, I was wrong for calling the police on you. Something wasn't right with that. Mm-hmm. She didn't see anything wrong with that, and they didn't either. Mm-hmm. And in that situation, I can say that I've seen that situation personally with my own eyes, with other young men in single parent households, surrounded by women and her friends, women and her sisters, her cousins, telling this boy what a boy's supposed to do, what a boy's supposed to be, what a man's supposed to do, and he wrong. I cut a woman off because she got too loud with her sons in the next room. Mm-hmm. She told me that I saw the attitude that they had. So I was like, man, I see why they got an attitude, because they feel disrespected. They shouldn't have to wake up in the middle of the night and hear their mom handling her business.
Yeah.
She told me, you know what? I pay these bills, and they got to understand I got needs. She put herself first. You know what I did? I cut her off.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But that mentorship, other situations where I've been in a barbershop, and women in I'm gonna say in unison. I don't see nothing wrong with listening to WAP. What's wrong with boys seeing women twerk? They just, they all against the man. Mm-hmm. And then I say, well, you know what? It might not be anything wrong with it. But how will you feel if that's the way he started treating women and looking at women from this point forward? Mm-hmm. See, sometimes this is what a little child has to go through. And Dawn said something real key. Imagine him trying to beat that man back up.
Yep.
That's why a lot of kids have to have extracurricular activity. They need to get involved in sports. A lot of good athletes are good because they had that was their opportunity to take out their aggression on somebody, because they can't do it at home.
Yeah.
But the natural, I like what Dawn said, that natural law. To me, the number one rule over everything in natural law as a parent is to look out for your children first.
Exactly. Mr. Hicks, I think you wanted to say something as well, sir?
Yeah, I just wanted to, just one point that I observed too is that sort of like the elephant in the room, the stereotype is that when a black man get angry, he's dangerous. Mm-hmm. If we could be at a counter, just express a disagreement and with some assertive, and the lady at the counter get panicky, and because the black man get angry. So it's like I think the mother who's white, that's sort of what what her fear too. Her son show anger and disagreement, and she get afraid. She feared him in that sense.
Wow.
But,
wow.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And that's something that we didn't touch on a lot, but that's absolutely true. That's some truth in that.
I was hoping we wouldn't have put the race in it though, because black women do the same thing.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
But you know, it's the fear factor. You know, like I said,
that male thing. It's the fact that you know what, now he's big enough to probably hurt me like this man was hurting
energy.
me.
Yeah.
Somebody told me they had a mother that was like 4 feet tall, about 4 or 5 feet tall, but you know. And this dude, he was about 6 feet, man. But he said, I ain't messing with my mama, man. No, what happened was the mother, when he was young, she put that and I don't know if this she put that fear factor in him. I don't care how big, and you know, some of them sisters, I don't care how big you get, you come on this way you want to. I got something for you.
My wife told my son he's 6'7". She told him to get on his knees, so she get around it, and he'll do it too, even now. All of them will, right? Because I knew I had her back. 100%. I would hit no kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Whatever she say, I'm coming in and executing off that.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to understand.
Yes, sir, Toussaint. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm just one thing I thought about is I don't know if I'm saying something right or wrong or not, but I just wouldn't bring my son or allow to be in the council of them. And I'm just saying, he need a man's counsel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He need a man's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You crowd him up with a bunch of women being defensive to a woman,
be careful,
creating
Toussaint.
some more problems.
Be careful, Toussaint. You about to you going in, you getting out the kiddie pool, you going to the deep water.
I've been there before.
You going? I'm gonna tell you something. You going
but
to the
I know
deep
one
water.
thing. I know one thing. Ain't no woman can raise a man.
Mm-hmm.
I know I said something that somebody said. Yes, I did. Well, I raised my son. Yeah, I hear you. And they got some women that really can raise. I understand that. But he needs a man in his life to say, okay, son, look, okay, you're going to have to take it for what it's worth. It's happened. Now you got to grow up and be a man and just deal with life, because if you keep reflecting on these things, you're going to have a problem everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's why coaches get so much praise.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
They feel that father figure role. You know how many people say, "Oh, my coach played my father figure role. He was my father figure."
Yeah.
I mean, that's that extracurricular activity, that direction, that guidance. Get on these weights, hit that boy. You know what I'm saying? Shoot that ball, run fast, get that energy out of you. All right, good play, son.
Yeah. And there was like in my middle school, Coach Melly. You know, Coach Lewis was my favorite coach, but Coach Melly was that father figure type coach. Coach Melly was the one, you know, my door's always open, son. Son, what are you doing? You know, he was that guy. You know, Coach Lewis, he laugh and joke, you have a good time with him. But if you really want to talk to somebody and get the truth, man, Coach Melly, he gonna give you the truth. And son, you know you messed up, and this is why you messed up. You ain't got no business doing that. Why were you even over there? Why were you even over there? You knew when you went over there what happens when you go over there. Why are you over there? Let me go. We got a couple of young ladies on the line. I want to get their opinion on this. I know they did not see the clip. I don't think they saw the clip. But in a nutshell, what happened was there was a young man. His mother took him in front of a board, a panel, if you will, of women on a talk show, on a TV show. And they were talking about all the stuff that happened. And he was saying that all the stuff that he was doing, and the mother even went so far as to call the police on him and had him drug test him and stuff like that. And he was trying to make his point, but because of the fact that, or in the element that they was in at that particular time, all women, they came together, and as women, they went against him, were not listening to anything he was saying. He was saying, you know, these are the things that happen. These are the things that happen, and they weren't hearing any of these things. They went so far as to say, well, you know, what's that thing they said? They said, did that make it right? Because what he was doing, she got with another man. She got with another man, which was not his father, and the man became abusive to him as well as the mother. And he went to school and started beating up other people because, you know, he said, you know, that's what bully does. You know, that was his outlet, and so he went to school and started doing this thing. The mother, you know, she got on there, she started crying and all kind of stuff. But the young man was not heard. was not heard at all. It was a come to women together moment, and they went against him and what he was trying to do. Cassandra, what are you hearing that situation? Is that something that happened often? Shenavia, coming to you next. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning? Cassandra, wake up and go to sleep. Wake up and go to sleep. We'll come back to you, Cassandra. Shenavia, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm good. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing good. So it's good to have you. What do you hear in that situation, man? Because it became a beat him up moment. It became a beat him up moment, actually, what it turned into. So what do you hear in that situation?
Man, a lot of this, because imagine having to be on trial and plead your case to deaf ears on why you are a victim. And that's, I mean, I can assume that her intentions were good for bringing him on the show, but I mean, there's a whole lot of other stuff that's going on too, because now you're putting me in front of a judge and jury of peers that know nothing about me, and you're only hearing the diagnosis. You're completely ignoring the symptoms that got me here. And then we're dealing with the situation of now I have to feel shame, and now I have to feel guilty, and now I have these people that don't know me that are telling me that I'm wrong for a ripple effect that has been caused, and I'm at the bottom of the ripple effect. Everything is trickled from the head down, and I'm catching it, and nobody hears me. I'm screaming as loud as I can, but nobody's hearing me. And that's what happened. And why some of my parents don't like me the first couple of times that they meet me, because when you come and tell me about the diagnosis, your child has da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, well, I deal with symptoms and how we got here, not the diagnosis. The diagnosis just gives you something to put a label to. But if we don't dig and actually get to the root, then the diagnosis will still be there, and we just putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. So this kid is sitting here trying to put. How old is the kid?
What would y'all say? He's about 15, 16?
He probably about 19 now. He look like he may be a little older. You know, he might be grown and just was going back telling the situation of the disagreement between him and his mother still.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you still have, he may be 19 in age, but when did this start? And that's the thing that parents don't like to hear, because you tell me that your kid is bad. Well, is your kid really bad? Or is your kid responding to the environment that was around him? And then even I'm gonna throw the mom a bone, because somewhere in line, somewhere down the line, what some parents don't like to hear is that if I admit that, hey, I could have caused something, I have to take accountability. And if I take accountability, then I have to admit somewhere along the line that something is wrong with me.
Yeah.
And that may have caused that. But if I'm a broken woman or a broken man trying to raise a child without healing to some degree, I'm not saying that everybody has to go to therapy. I understand therapy is not for everyone, but however you seek your healing. We have a lot of broken men and women that's raising other broken children because they are broken children themselves.
Wow.
And I hate to use the word broken. I typically like to use the word bruised, because I don't think that we're all broken, but broken pieces can even come back together, but not in the same way. If we're putting the broken pieces back together the same way that they got broken, then we still have the same problem going. So we could be broken and come back together, but it's got to be put together in a different way. And I feel sorry for the family as a whole, because the family needed therapy, not just the kid.
That's
and
right.
kids should
That's
have never had to be on trial in that position. That's just my take on it.
And you know what I'm gonna say to you know what I'm gonna say to that? Shenavia, you know what I'm gonna say to that? I'm gonna say, well. That's all I can say to that. Well,
you know, I know you want to get to the next topic, man. Let me throw this out there, man, real quick, so you can go ahead and get to it, man. You know, and fraction and shattered would be a good word, you know, instead of broken.
Exactly.
But this is one thing that we missed. This is how dysfunctional this relationship is or was, and really how deep it goes. She had the courage, but the nastiness to call the police on her son, or to have that drug test done on son and have him arrested and do some time. But she wouldn't even call the police on a man that was beating the brakes off of her and her own son.
Wow. Come on. Truth.
We missed all of that.
Yeah.
And I guarantee they didn't come up to it. But put yourself in his shoes while he's sitting up in that jail cell. You call the police on me for smoking weed because I got to deal with this. But he's sitting up here playing with his toes and eating and running through the refrigerator like baby boy.
Exactly.
About to break your back. I had to pull a gun on this man. The police didn't have to pull a gun on him. I did. But you want to show your authority, huh, mama? Put me in jail. Put me in these folks' hands. The same ones you know that this is where they want me at.
Yeah, exactly. Cassandra, are you with us? Cassandra?
That goes on in a lot of households, man. It goes on in a lot of households. I can't do nothing with them. What was that woman doing with her son that got shot down in the Atlantic Station? I called the police on my son 30 times and they said they couldn't do nothing with him. Now he dead.
Wow. I think Cassandra maybe having some issues with her phone line. Cause I think I heard trying to get through. So Cassandra, when you get that fixed, come on through, sister. I want to hear your heart on this. But right now, Willow, I got to say it like that. Willow, I got to say it like that.
What's wrong with your voice? Right.
I got to say it like that. I had to say it like that because I know what you ready to come with something. Let me say it the way you like to hear me though. Willow, that's the way. Okay, but I had to say it like that time, Willow. What's on your heart, sis? Talk to me. What are you hearing in this situation, man? She did this to her son, and like Rico just said, man, she called the police on him, had him turned over to the authorities. But the very one that was beating her and her son, she never called the police.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say good morning to the Morning Glow family.
Good morning.
This is a very interesting conversation, especially for today. I want to say today. The way our justice system is, it's so hard. You want to get help for your children, you want to get help for yourself, but sometimes you calling the right resources, first of all, might be the wrong thing because sometimes it ends up in death. As we've seen on the news and all kinds of places where people have called the authority and their children or their husbands sometimes have wind up in death. Now, as far as her making a decision and calling on the spouse that's beating her, that's a different kind of situation because he has a different kind of authority. See, he is placed in her mind that he is her owner. And it could be that she's very insecure about who she is when it comes to him. See, her feelings about him is different than the feelings that she had for her son. Not that she didn't love her son, but because of the beating, the mental abuse, and all those things that he has instilled in her mind, she felt that it was important to get him out of the way. So that might be her way of thinking. It's just me, my opinion, and a conspiracy theory. But for some, it's been real life. So if you look at it, Raheem, if you look at it, any of it is wrong. Any of it, the mental, the physical abuse. But sometimes, like I said, we talk about it, we take it, because of the insecurity that we have, how strong people prey on the weak. And that's what's on my heart today, right here.
Good deal. Man, look at this topic right here. I knew it was gonna take a minute, man. It could have actually taken, and we still could go. Hold on, before I do that, let me go to Curtis, because I know Curtis got something else on his heart before we move on. We're gonna transition to our next clip. But Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
I actually don't have nothing. Navy said it best.
Yes, she put it out there, didn't she? She put it out there. Yes, Lord. Okay. Well, let me go ahead.
No. I can add that to this.
Good.
Everybody, Rico didn't do nothing but rap the president. Navy gave you the president. Rico came behind and rapped it. Miller just went on and delivered the president. The kid is happy now.
Good deal. Well, let me get this thing set up, man. I'm really set up where we can actually go to our second clip. Let me get it set here, and we're going to play that particular clip, and see what this is. I know what it is, but I want you all to listen, and have we all been totally programmed? I'm gonna preface it by saying that, have we all been programmed? Listen to the clip and let's talk about it.
And Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest
responsibility
is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about trouble and irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 It's extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is 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 extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Wow. Okay, let me get that out the way. We can bring this back up. I see you pitching in your seat right now, so I ain't know where I'm going to you right now, Rico. I'm not gonna do it, brother. Let me go to Zamaria. Zamaria, what's on your heart? Just talk to me.
Over the phone, it is kind of hard to hear with all of the voices going at once.
That's actually, I think that's actually how
you know. I mean, I know what the video is because I sent it to you. I've seen this video more than once. But you know, in the video, for people who maybe have that same problem hearing that, they're all saying the same thing at the same time on all, not maybe not at the same time, but you know, across all those different stations, they're word for word saying the same thing. It's scary. It is so terrifying to me to think that our news anchors, who we trust or who we're supposed to trust to deliver real news, the real story, give us the truth, the facts, they're all reading from a script.
Yeah.
There's somebody else behind the scenes pulling the strings.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Cassandra, what's on your heart? Talk to me. Do you want to comment on? You want to comment on some of the things that were said in the last portion, or you want to go ahead and go with this particular one right here, Cassandra?
I didn't hear what was talked about in the last.
Okay. Well, let's start here. What do you think about this across the board? All pretty much scripted, reading the same thing, reading the same from the same playbook, word for word. Have we been programmed? Or bamboozled, or however you want to say it?
Yeah, maybe some, but them using the same language for me does not dictate, because if you know anything about reporting or whatever, if you're talking about a particular story, you're going to use pretty much the same wording. Now, whether that the story is true or not is a whole different thing. But I could not put all of the news reporting in the same category. I mean, because there are some that you know that are anti-Black, that they're going to talk about certain things in a certain way, no matter what's true. It doesn't matter whether it's true or false. Their narrative is to keep people in discord with Black people. So what they say is going to be anti-Black, pretty much, anti-poor. So I don't know. I'm different on subjects like this because I take any news that I hear, I do my own research. Whatever they're saying, I go and I do and that's what we should do if we're really concerned about what's happening around us. We do our own research so that we know what is the truth from what is a lie. So I don't have a problem listening to news stations, even that I don't agree with, because I know the truth and I'm going to research the truth for myself. That's just me.
Okay, that's good, because my thing is it's amazing how it's almost like they took one script and, like Zamari said, they took one script and they sent it to everybody. Y'all read this, read it word for word, it's just like this. But I guess it's a job. The news broadcasters have a job, and their job is to report what comes across their table and what's given to them. And so, I don't necessarily blame them, but I do. You have to kind of look at it a little side eye. Curtis, what's on your heart? Curtis?
Well, yeah, I'm right here. First and foremost, I'm with Cassandra. Understanding that news is, a lot of times, news has become based on a false balance, right? So it's imperative that you do your own research. Secondly, here's my question, because see, we have done this in American society, and I don't know where this came from. I don't want to say it's the work of the devil because I don't know where it came from. Right? But why have we gotten into this habit of not asking questions? Like, where did that come from? What is a danger to our democracy? What exactly are they talking about? We have gotten into a culture where a soundbite is good enough, right? Because the truth be told, if I live on the 12th floor, now, right, and the building is on fire in the 5th floor, and our communication is slack, or we don't have no communication, one person gonna holler fire. Another person in a whole other apartment gonna holler fire. Another person fire. A person from the ground. Hey man, the building is on fire. So I'm gonna hear that 50 times. So the question is, Cassandra's laid it out. Find out what they talking about and where this news is coming from. People, because okay.
Basically, what I'm hearing you say, Curtis, is who is the mind behind the madness?
Who's the mind behind the magic? A lot of people didn't know it because there was not an ad thrown out there like that right there. That, Rupert Murdoch was questioned severely yesterday in committee about his news station telling all these lies. Guess who folded yesterday, Raheem?
Who that?
Guess who folded yesterday? The big bad guy. I work out 5 times a day, and I'm taking Krav McGraw. Sean Hannity. He folded yesterday.
Wow.
He folded and told them, and I believe it was a Zoom. He wasn't there in person via Zoom, but he folded yesterday and told them that he knew the election fraud was a lie. He openly admitted it. I knew the election fraud was a lie.
Get out of here, man.
Now, had you put that in rotation with they trying to program us? Or is this a situation where there's really a wolf in your yard and somebody's trying to tell you, hey, don't go in the yard, it's a wolf out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I just say, man, find out, is like Cassandra said, do your research for yourself. Don't let your research be done with a biased opinion, because then you're only going to look at information that supports your biased opinion. Your biased opinion.
Mm-hmm.
When you do your research on both sides. When I have an issue, if I'm watching TV and I hear something on MSNBC that don't sound right to me, guess what I do? I flip to Fox.
Mm-hmm.
I leave from Fox and then I go to CNN. Then I leave from there and I go to my local news.
Mm-hmm.
Land in the plane. One of the things that we got this year, I just seen it at the end of the year last year. They kind of made a spoof about it. All of a sudden, everybody in TV started saying full disclosure, full disclosure, full disclosure, full disclosure, right? So you could say that they was programmed to say that. But you know why they were saying that? They were saying that to alleviate the litigious opportunity for somebody to sue them.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
See what I'm saying? So I'm with Cassandra on it, man.
Good deal. I had Mr. Hicks up next, but I think we lost him. Maybe hopefully he'll come on back in. But Rico, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart? What are you hearing?
Yeah, man. I mean, I like the way Zamara thinks, man. I'm on that same stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the bigger picture. You know, it's about the fact that it's being scripted and it's programmed across regions, and that can be dangerous. You know, they're hitting it on the head. Find out who is the one behind it. You know, just analyzing this video without going into any type of political banter or anything like that, because both sides are using it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, what the thing is we as the consumer that have been manipulated into being consumers, and we as the human addicts that are addicted to this thing that we're consuming, this media and this information that can't be skewed in any kind of way because somebody controls what you can hear or somebody is behind the scenes pulling the string. This video is screaming, wake up, people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is the system you are living in. And if you don't know to wake up and pay attention to what is being fed to you in your food, in your information, in your education, in your judicial system. Mm-hmm. If you don't wake up and see what is going on, you're going to continue contributing to this illusion of the American dream. Mm-hmm. Because what they did, they showed you, this video showed you how scripts and programming works.
Mm-hmm.
It showed you MK Ultra right in your face.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of analyzing we could do, and we could break it, and actually we could lose focus and go to talking about, well, this person admitted this and this person did that, but still it doesn't address who is the man behind the strings that's creating these conditions that allows this to be a script and a program spread across regions and across nations and across this planet.
Exactly. Gonna go to Mr. Hicks, and then we're gonna go to Goddess. Goddess is with us this morning as well. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart? What did you hear, bro?
Oh, wow. I guess, you know, when the COVID whole thing hit, I was working at the VA hospital when they instituted the temperatures and masks and all that stuff, and the panic was on around everybody around me. I retired. Made a bad decision in the middle of that. I got married. We were married for a year, and she took the shots, but she's concerned now. I don't take the shots, that I'm gonna get her the whole propaganda that she was hearing on these stations. You know, all the while saying this stuff, and while everyone who had a different opinion or either a question who asked questions, it was canceled. You know, all the things, Agilochrome, even it being affected as a treatment was there, even immune, all the whole deal. Now it comes out, all the stuff come out. I feel inside of myself, I knew this, but I still feel the frustration is like the Creator put people who's in your midst, in the midst of you, who see through the game, and that you and who with me, my whole thing was say, don't believe me, research. It was out there then. In 2015, where it was predicted about this virus. When you go back in history with all the other swine flu, they said came from the Spanish flu. Wasn't a Spanish flu. It was a reaction given to the soldiers. There was tests on the soldiers on World War F. But the fact, but when you have somebody, you have people who research these things and it goes against everything that the talking heads are saying, because they hit the comedians. It's like even about the Trump thing. My whole thing throughout the whole deal with Trump was about fairness. My whole thing is about fairness. I wasn't even on either side, never have been, but I saw the game. I mean, I saw wherever you find him, wherever you see him, walk up to him, and all this stuff, all of that is going on one side. It's going on both sides, but you got to admit, somebody, you know, like somebody is worse than the other guy. Somebody's more dirty than the other one. That's just the real. So I guess I clocked out because I got emotional just handling this stuff because I battle with many people about this stuff. I mean, I had people walk up to me in the post office, tell me pull my mask up. I'm saying, get the F out of my face. You put your mask on. But they had created a kind of thing where they wasn't even enforcing rules. Everybody around you are enforcing the rules. Everybody became a boss. You got to go in the store. You got to stand 6 feet. Take your temperature. All programming. I saw it. Because I lived through it. I remember a time when it was illegal for them to put up a roadblock and stop you and check you couldn't do that stuff. It was illegal. You had a right. You had that right. But over the time with 9/11 and all the stuff, giving away freedoms, giving it right, we're down to a thing now where whatever the authority they do, you say do. But I come from a different generation. I question authority. I fought authority and still fighting. I see the game. It gets me frustrated, honestly. I mean, I've said one time on this podcast, I said everybody you see on television is under a contract. They're actors. Everybody, all of them, every last one of them. They got a contract. There's only a few people that own this communication, and you know what their agenda is. Their agenda is to change the society and destroy the basis of it. That's why even in the music industry, they got an agenda. I mean, I remember we going to that thing, just a basic thing. I'm not going to hog the time, but this stuff in my heart. Shut up. Not shut up. Speak up. Spiritual right that the Christ gave you. I tell you to shut up.
And overstand.
I mean, it's about the thing, even the simple things like what is a woman? And the atmosphere around you is like, I don't know. I can't say, but yeah, I got to speak up. I know what a woman is. I know what a man is. I don't care what y'all saying. It get hard to handle the burden of your consciousness, but that's the sign of being a warrior. Because to tell the truth is you go on to war now. When you tell the truth, you're going to war against falsehood. And it's a rough battle, but yeah.
Good deal. And excuse me, there are certain verbiages that I don't like. I don't say it a lot, but when somebody say, "Do you understand?" I say, "No, I understand."
I like
and that it's just playing with the words, man. Words mean something. Do you understand? No, I understand. But anyway, God is yes, sir. God is good. Morning, young lady. How you doing this morning? Okay.
Good morning. Good morning, Morning Glow family. I just want to apologize to you, Raheem. I was not trying to dictate to anybody about whatever. I just want them to use critical thinking.
Absolutely.
And just that we was on this earth way before the Bible was written. So that means we have to have a divine intervention with God. And that was just basically what my main plan and goal is stating, is that, but regarding what we're talking about now, it's still, again, critical thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've got to take the time out and think, because we've been programmed since day one. That is what their plan is. The main agenda, they have an agenda and always had one,
Mm-hmm.
But this is a time of awakening.
Mm-hmm.
It says it in Revelations in the Bible. This is a time of awakening. And if ain't nobody paying attention to what they did with the Cerner project and all the things that are going on, they're stating to wake up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you listen to how it continued to replay, yeah, it is a danger. It's a danger to them, because once we wake up, we're unstoppable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Once we wake up and tie into our own divine energy, it's over the top.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's over the top.
And let me say this to you, sister. You family. That's and like I say, family don't always see eye to eye. Family don't always get along. But at the end of the day, you still family. We love you and definitely accept your apology. I appreciate that. But you family, sis. That's just what it is. That's what family do sometimes. They don't always agree. But it's all right. At the end of the day, we still family. And ain't no two ways about that. So let me see. Who am I going to now? Let me see. Let me go to Tucson. I ain't talked to Tucson in a minute. Tucson, what's on your heart?
No, man. Not too much. You just when you start off right, or the way you start, especially with young folks, children, along their way, as they grow up, everything you do becomes a part of their life.
Mm-hmm.
It's an influence. And especially the way we do now, we make it all about us.
Mm-hmm.
We and now all we're trying to do is make sure that we got jobs to struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're not struggling, but the attention has gone away from raising children.
Mm-hmm.
So when the attention gets off of raising children, and everybody, I'm lonely. Well, the person you got beating your brains out, then he's beating your child too.
Now Tucson,
So
I gotta get on you for a minute, man. I gotta get on you, Tucson.
Okay, kid.
Now you know we done switch. Now you know we done switch topics, right?
Okay, so what?
I'm just saying, Tucson, you my brother, man. Hey, but look here, man. You know we done switch topics, right? I mean, you going in, saying some good stuff, man. But you know we done switch topics, though, right? I'm just the question asking, man. That's all.
Well, thank you, man, for letting me know, because I'm just still on the same thing. I'm just to be honest with you.
Go ahead.
I work for a living.
Okay, go ahead, brother. Finish your thought. Go ahead. I just want to let you know, man. We done switch topics. But that's okay.
I don't get in conversation that I don't know nothing about. So I don't know what you're talking about. So I just leave it there.
Okay, good.
Right.
It's all crazy.
Hey, yes, sir.
Can I please throw this out here? Because I'm in a profession that was mentioned here, and I gotta go in order to say it.
Uh-huh.
Brother Hicks, you know I love you, man. You my man. You man. You the voice in my head when I get ready to do something crazy.
Mm.
But man, no, they not all actors, brother.
Mm-hmm.
No. Brother, it take work.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of folks think that it's easy to grab that script and remember them lines, but acting is a lot more than just saying lines and remembering them. So no, they're not all actors. The other thing that I did want to mention, maybe it's me, but have y'all noticed that most Lord, I'm going to hell for laughing at this.
No, you're not.
y'all mentioned that, have y'all realized that most reporters have a really bad list, or is it just me?
Oh Lord.
Next time
Oh
y'all
Lord.
watch,
Curtis.
next time y'all watch the
Curtis.
news. I swear to God, look, y'all, I'm being dead serious now. I'm being dead serious. I mean, it's funny.
I don't.
Like, oh, so that's why they went to journalism school, because a lot of them, real talk, they have spent a lot of money with a speech therapist or somebody that worked in speech to help them get where they live.
Curtis.
I'm lying. Okay.
Curtis.
I'm lying right here.
Go on over there. Look, Curtis, you know where the corner at, but go on over there. Tucson should already be over there. So at least you'll have somebody to talk to. But you need to go on over there.
Man, you want to be for telling the truth.
Man, look at go on over there in that corner. Go on over there in that corner, man. You and Tucson got something to talk about. Go on over there. Hey, Leonard, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
What's going on, man? You know, I had to step away, so I didn't hear the rest of the conversation.
Well, we switched up, and now we're talking about it, and I'm talking to Tucson as well, because Tucson he's still in the old conversation too, but that's my brother. He could do that, but we're talking about how the news is set up, man, and how you look at news and regardless of where you look at it, it's almost like they're reading the same script. They're saying the same word, word for word. And is it programmed? Is it a system? And if so, who is the mind behind the madness that's pushing a certain narrative?
The news is great for one reason: freedom of the press.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they got freedom, guess what? They're gonna do what they want to do.
To include lying.
For the life of me, I can't understand why responsible adults believe that folks tell them the truth all the time. You think that you can actually trust people like that? I take it with a grain of salt. They put the stories on that they want to, and if you notice, like I remember, I'm old enough to remember when the news came on like once a day, maybe. And you got it all at 6 and you waited till the next day, or when you got up in the morning, usually. But you didn't sit around and just watch news all day. But now with this new information age, you understand, it's about putting information out. And those people sitting around there thinking it's somebody else's responsibility to make sure it's right or wrong. Hey, we got some fact checkers going on. That's why they so popular. Because these people don't tell you the truth. They tell you what they want to tell you. Mm-hmm. And if you find a good outlet that you like, that you can rely on, those are the ones you should be trusting. Not just the everyday, because really news is so repetitious. A lot of times you can see the point where the news ain't got too much new to say. So they had, like, say, for instance, the weather. You ever heard the weatherman? Do he hope we get hit by the hurricane? Do we hope we get hit by the tornado? Because they just keep talking about it like they know it personally or something. I'm like, man, over and over and over and over. Some people can't take all that, sit and watch the news all day. And you shouldn't. Like, I love NPR for various reasons. And I spend a lot of time listening to NPR because, one, you can fact check. I've been on NPR. I know some of the reporters and the stories that they find interesting, but it's a great outlet and it's free. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people listen to these people that have a slant and an agenda, like Fox. It's news, but is it news anybody can really use?
Wow.
Because they definitely have an agenda other than telling you what's best for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
You have to understand the agenda, especially when one or two people own the majority of the outlets that you're watching.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my man Rashad Ritchie and the Young Turks.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. We're gonna go in this order right here. We're gonna go Willow. Then we're gonna go Badger, and then we're gonna go Zamari. Willow, what's on your heart, sis?
First of all, I'm so glad that you made it clear on what we were talking about, because you would have put me in the corner like you saw, because I didn't know the new topic because I didn't hear the clip real good.
Okay.
But this is what I want to say, Raheem. Raheem, news is a business. It's a business to put out the information to the public on what, quote unquote, is supposed to be happening around the world, what's happening local, depending on what news you watch. Now, you know for yourself, it's all about ratings. All about ratings. Do they embellish the truth sometimes? Sure they do. Do they not get the truth sometimes? Sure they do. Because I could just testify by one time it was something that was going on in my area, on my block, when this young lady was on her way to church and it was a shooting on Long Street and she accidentally got caught in the line of fire. And then she got shot in the head and she ran into a house right on the corner of my block. So when the news came on, they were saying that she was a part of the shooting.
Wow.
I know for myself she wasn't. That is not what happened. But what happened was they reiterated the story. And that's what happens sometimes. That's why you hear something being told over and over and over again to get the truth right, to correct the lie that they didn't put out. Because they try to put it out first. Who puts it out first? CBS, NBC, ABC. It's all about ratings as a business. Yes, they are. It's their job to put it out there. It's their job to let us know what's going on. It's their job to communicate with us. But you're absolutely right. In some areas, they are programmed, but some are trying to look better than the other. And that's what I wanted to say right here.
Good deal. Good deal. Badger, talk to me, brother.
I mean, this is our. I kind of like what Leonard was saying. Is so growing up, a lot of parents talk about Santa Claus is real, right? I'm going somewhere with this, so please be patient. And the Tooth Fairy and so on. And then as we grow up, under the foundation that we've been lied to, I would assume that'd give us a perception that maybe we shouldn't trust everything adults say. To make us question and do critical thinking. But it seems like instead, there's this large group of people that have somehow become victimized. And feels like they get so stuck in their own ways that no matter what you present to them, nothing to change it. There's people that'll listen to Fox News and they think every other news station is lying. There's people that watch CNN that think the exact same thing. If one's more Republican or one's more Democrat or one's more Libertarian, that'd dictate it too. The scary part is I had a conversation with somebody that's pretty close to my family, and I heard them say, they said, this may not be verbatim, but I'll get as close as I can. I see that mountain over there of all these things. I don't want to climb it. That rose-colored glasses, type of living. I'd rather see, all the pretty stuff. I don't want to have to think and, realize, because I can't handle it. I can't handle how depressing or how messed up, our society is. And yes, it is a matter of perspective. Even if with all that negativity, you can still be a positive human being. There are a lot of us that work extremely hard to stay positive. We have our anger outbursts. We do get depressed. But guess what? We go, we're alive. We've experienced and we can share our stories to help other people. Can life suck sometimes? Absolutely. What's the best way to handle it? We're going to be lied to our news people. We're lied to by our politicians. They're always bickering among one another. And as long as their monies are full, as long as their pockets are full, why do the rest of us matter?
Wow.
And that's just, welcome to America. And if you don't get that, and if you don't want to accept that, stay in your own little world and leave the rest of us that are that actually do the research and that are intelligent deal with the actual problems of what's really going on in America.
Good deal. Good deal. Good deal. Zamari, what's on your heart, sis? Talk to me.
I'm good. I'm just enjoying hearing everybody else and what they got to say.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's good. Now let me see. I think we got somebody. I thought somebody else. Oh, Annette just came in. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Hey, very, 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 very well. Good morning.
Good morning. We're talking about the news outlets and how it's almost like they have one script and they send it to everybody and everybody read the same thing. Have we been bamboozled? Have we been led astray, if you will? Is there any truth? Should we believe the news? Let me come with you in that angle. Should we believe the news and the stories that they tell?
Well, yes, to a point. Yes, to a point. You still have to do your own research. But a long time ago, when Hearst and Pulitzer, I forget which one was in the newspaper business first, but when Hearst came in, I think Pulitzer, and when Hearst came in, they were fighting, going back and forth. Finally, they said, hey, why are we fighting against each other? Hey, let's just create sensationalism, right? So the news is always going to create some sensationalism. It's always going to be targeted. It's always going to be programmed. But the news is very good because at least you get a glimpse of what is happening so that you can move forward, so that you can tell somebody else, so that you can call. But then, we have to do our own research. But yes, it is pure propaganda in some instances, but it can be very helpful to us at the same time. It's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I'm gonna
give, and so that's why we have people like you, because what's happening with the news now, it's been deregulated because of the internet. So now, thank God that you can present the news, right?
Mm-hmm.
And other outlets can present the news the way that we know it, where we are. So it's a blessing. So we just have to talk more, speak more, and get out the news ourselves so that we create this authenticity to the news.
Absolutely. Good deal. Now, Rico, I got to do this, man. I got to go back and give our brother a chance to redeem himself.
Oh, yeah. I was hoping you would have. He don't listen for a second.
Yes, sir. Tucson, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
I feel better. Look at that. You had me out there like a mule looking at a new gate.
Wow.
I don't actually see, because one thing, who was that just now?
Annette.
Mm-hmm. And that said glimpse of what's really going on. Why can't we just get what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
The news is supposed to be accurate. I don't watch it. It's depressing because they in their rush to get the news out first. It's not accurate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's kind of half truth. And here you go, doing like me, jumping in head first, and you don't even know what you're talking about.
Hey, well, I'm gonna tell you something,
brother. And then you share it. You share your information like you smart, like I just did.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. I learned from everything.
Mm-hmm.
I learned from everything. That's exactly what I did. Exactly what they did. You say the same thing all day long and be right.
Mm-hmm. Tucson, I got something for you, brother.
I'm back over there.
Had to give you the applause, brother. Had to give you did good. You bought it back. You bought it back. Yeah, he redeemed himself. Absolutely. Cassandra, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Talk to me, sis. What's on your heart?
I we're
Lord Jesus.
okay.
Get it out, sister.
Okay. No, I'm not. I'm gonna stay, like, really stay in, hold in. Because my thing is just do the research. I'm just, because whatever we believe about, the news, whatever we believe about a particular group of people, my thing is, don't just take anybody. I mean, that's just intelligence. Don't just take anybody's word on anything, and especially if you feel some kind of way. If you do the research, you should get better answers. But can I tell you what happens when we see certain news things? We are so focused on our political party or our political agendas or our own personal agendas that we dismiss anything that anybody. Come on now, that's the truth. We just it doesn't matter. We can put the truth dead in your face, and it will not matter because you are so zoned in on what you want to believe that it doesn't matter that the truth is there in your face. And so, that's my thing. That we can we just find out what the truth is.
Absolutely.
And I don't want anybody to take my perspective on anything, because what I believe is what I believe. But guess what? I will do the research at least to see whether, okay, are you just believing this because you stupid? Are you dumb? I'm talking about me.
Wow.
Or have you actually seen and watched what the truth is? So that's just my position.
Good deal. Good deal. Goddess, what's on your heart, sis? Talk to me. Goddess? Oh, we might have lost Goddess. Rico, talk to me, brother.
That's why I'm not too big on just being having solidarity to a whole lot of things. The purpose of the news is to sort of give you keep you informed. And then you dig a little deeper. But to be honest with you, sometimes when you dig a little deeper, you have to go. If you Google it, it's going to refer you to another news source.
Yep.
Wow, ain't that something? So when you start talking about research, you have to go to the past to see what led up to this point, because sometimes people don't know what you mean when you say research. It's easy to say that. That makes you sound like you're doing something. I research. I hear people say that all the time. But the real research is going up to what caused this situation that they're talking about. And then understanding how it may impact you. That's why, like, even with politics, I watch the news. I do watch the news with discernment.
Yeah.
Knowing that they are just informing me of situations that whoever pulling the strings, want me to be aware of, but I can't expect them to give me the full truth. So I got to dig a little bit deeper. You know what I'm saying? I got to go what led up to this, So, and in some situations you can't research. You know, with what happened with George Floyd, you couldn't do too much research. You was only gonna get what they gave you. That's why certain court cases or certain investigations, they don't release information. They're not trying to keep you informed.
Yeah.
So you have to ask your question, why is this agenda even in place? There's a number of things. It's a control issue, and then it's a way to also distract you from the purpose of realizing of what they're trying to control or what they're trying to get you to pay attention to do, what they're trying to get you to support or to not support. You have to ask yourself, what is their agenda? What is the benefit of this? Especially when you start seeing discrepancies, that makes you really start digging a little deeper anyway. But 9/11 still got a lot of questions they got to answer.
Absolutely.
They still got a lot of questions they got to answer about JFK. And they said that some information you can't find out till 75 years after it's been classified, before they declassified. So I mean, this information thing, man, a lot of people went to war You know, I think Wilmington, North Carolina, I think they had a black city.
Yeah, they did.
It was majority black.
Yep.
And that man, he owned the newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people didn't like that because with him having access to that information, he could have informed people of things that they really needed to know, that really the system that was around them couldn't benefit them to know. So they went and took that from him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so that's the power of media. It's a purpose behind it. Sometimes we ignore it. I say look at the news, but look at it with a third eye.
Yeah.
Just get informed and get introduced to what they're talking about, and go and inform yourself to see if what they say is what they're saying sounds like it's humane to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Man, I hate we lost Goddess, because I know she had a lot to say on this topic right here, man. I know she had a lot to say on this particular topic right here. So I wish she could have stayed with us a little while longer, but hopefully before we get out of here, she'll be able to call back in. But before we do that, let me go to Mo. Mo, what do you say about the news, man? If across the board, man, they have one script, and you go to different channels in different cities and different states, and it's almost like they're saying the same thing word for word. Is it by design? Are they willfully trying to lead us down the wrong path?
Man, it's definitely by design, in my opinion. It's all about rates and money. I'm pretty sure someone has said that already, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they control the content. So they know not to put too much good stuff on there, because if they do, nobody's going to watch it,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So bad things draw people. Murders draw people. People stealing, people getting shot. Like, that's news, right? So the content is controlled. Now, if we have a station that's all good stuff, their ratings ain't gonna be high, because nobody likes to watch good stuff all the time, because
mm-hmm.
we program that way. We wired that way. Even on the news, people who watch the news online, you know, the algorithms, you know, it's controlled.
Mm-hmm.
What we see, what we don't see, what pops up, what doesn't. So it's just a mindset that they're trying to control us in all aspects of our life. I yield my time.
Good deal. Willow!
Hey, Ryan.
Talk to me, sis.
You know, people might look at the news as being programmed, but even with that programming, it makes us aware of a lot of things that are going on around you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at some of the awareness that they put out. Like, they were talking about how to be careful, like how young men, or men per se, or women, were being stuck up at the gas stations when they're pumping gas. And you might not even thought about that, because you get comfortable, even in your neighborhood. Like, a lot of people think because they live in the suburbs that they're safe, but it's not all the time. So it sometimes shows you where crime has moved, the geography of where crime is moving now. Because like downtown used to be a safe haven. When you went downtown, you felt safe. It was comfortable for you to do certain things. But now, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're showing, the news is making us aware of the crime that's being done downtown, how they breaking in stores by grabbing valuable things, by just running into the store and grabbing things. Just, you're walking and shopping, and they grabbing your bags while you on the cell phone and you ain't paying attention. So it brings awareness. Man, that was me. I'm always walking with my cell phone. That's what you might think of safe. So I'm going to say that it sometimes bring awareness of geography on how crime moves. But you got to watch it. You cannot not watch it to a sense that you're living in a world and you don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
I'm talking about local news and world news.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying, Raheem? Like, if you got crime going on in Florida, I ain't going there. You're going to Europe, there's a lot of pickpocketers or whatever. I'm just saying, it's just a form of awareness.
Exactly.
That's what I want to say, right?
Good deal. Mr. Hicks? There you go. Talk to me.
Yeah, sir. I was thinking about the whole thing of news and propaganda. When Freud's nephew or cousin or something discovered that they use it in advertisement to stimulate people to buying things. When Hitler, they grabbed it, they recognized it as a programming instrument. That's why they call it programs. Is that if you repeat even a lie over and over again, people will believe it.
Yeah.
And it attacks the subconscious mind, even though you're not conscious of what it's doing. So I just for the future, because the pandemic was just a glimpse of what the future holds for all of us. Critical thinking, and really, like Rico saying again, doing the research.
Yeah.
And research is Google. And it's not, because they're all part of the same. They all part of the same conspiracy. So mistakes. So to say that people. Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
If watch this, man, I wish you had more time. If there was a book, and we all know spiritual people are gonna say it's the Bible, but aside from that, if there was another book that you could go in and it'll tell you all the absolute truths about everything that happened, how it happened, who did it, why they did it, how many people do you think, statistic wise, how many people do you think, percentage wise, let me say percentage wise, would want to read that book?
Not many. It's like going to that movie, The Matrix. Is that it's so comfortable. It's so comfortable living in a world where you are the foundation. Everybody around you enforce that. For someone to come along and tell you that, hey, what you living in is not really real, and here's a pill. You get a choice here, and that's what's happening now in a metaphysical and spiritual sense. There's a choice in front of people now. I said one time that ignorance now is a matter of choice. It's a matter of priority where you're going to focus, because the information is there. Going now into even all those many books that was excluded from the church, and even going back to ancient texts and for that 1,000 years old, that have the same stories pointing to the same principles, giving you a definition of how we got here and how it is. It's going to be necessary to expand the true teachings of Christ, to be able to understand these things to young folks who have access to have all this various different information that you have to be able to answer to. And the fact is that it's easy. It gets frustrating. I understand panic. I understand fear. I feel it. I run through it. I always have. Standing up requires running through the fear of being misunderstood, being castigated, and be thought of as an outsider. But that's our choice got to be. We got to critically think and make choices for ourselves. Not let the government make choices. Not let anybody overrule our right of sovereignty over our body, what we put in our bodies, what we watch on. We have a choice. We can turn. I like Rico. I watch the news. I watch all of them. I watch all, and I look at it from a fair, and I see who's biased and who's not. They all have agendas. I don't take a side with anyone. I follow the truth. And the truth of each situation, and each situation is different. So you should know the truth and it'll set you free. That's talking about truth in various situations. But it takes being open and recognize that I got to shift my stand. I've had conversations with Rico, and I be standing in my power on the point, and he say something that clicks like that, and it shifts. My position shifts. And that's what communicating, us sharing our perspective on life does. But when you're open, when you're not saying I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I'm this and I'm a that. I'm a human being, you human being. You got to experience. God showed you things. He put certain things for you. If I open myself up to listen, you can help me change. And it might be something you give me that can save my life or save my family.
Absolutely. All right, preacher. We got to hold you up until Monday now, preacher. Hold on now, preacher.
I'm done.
Let me go to Zamari. Then Badger. I think Badger had something he wanted to say as well. Zamari, what's on your heart?
Nothing. I'm just enjoying listening to what everyone is saying, and it really does. And I appreciate what everyone is saying about that. You know, you have to do your own research, and this video, this clip, really is proof of that, because there's so much of it that is scripted, and that they're being fed and told to report in a certain way and say it a certain way. And if you are not a lover of truth, or you are just going to be stuck in your own biased opinions of what you think that truth is. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times where I've read a story and then I'll have somebody else tell me, oh, no, but this happened too. Really? Okay, well, let me go and check that. Let me go see, because now I want to know and make sure. But a lot of people won't do that. They'll sit there and they would prefer to argue with you and oh, no, that didn't happen. I know what happened. I saw it on the news. The news told me what happened.
Wow.
You got to do better than that.
Exactly.
We have to do
Now I got to, Zamari, I got to pick at you for a second now, Zamari. I got to pick at you, sister. You part of the family. I got to pick at you too. Now, I just came to you. I say, what's on your heart? You say nothing. They ain't got nothing to say. And then you talk for 15 minutes.
Leave that sister alone.
started something. I'm sorry.
You say, ain't got nothing. Y'all don't say everything y'all want to say. Then you talk for 15 more minutes. Lord.
She knows she in the family now. When you get picked on like that, Zamara, you up in here now.
I even, let me just say this, because I know you got to close it out. But I really am so glad that I found this community.
Praise
I
God.
Really am. And I am so glad that I get to be a part of this. And I really just enjoy hearing all of the different opinions and points of view, because, we say it all the time, right? It helps us to come to a larger understanding and acceptance and love just for everything that we have.
Absolutely.
And so I really am just so thrilled. I am addicted to this. Okay, I look forward to this. The weekends are awful for me.
To God be the
I'm
glory.
sitting here like Monday comes. I'm like, okay, I know it's coming.
You know what this show remind me
Now you
of,
got me
man?
hooked, man.
There you go.
You know what this show remind me of? Y'all remember on Poetic Justice when Tupac and Janet and all them went to that family reunion?
Oh,
and they just blended in. You know what I'm saying? Zamari, she just came into the picnic. Now she part of the barbecue. She all up in the family reunion now.
Exactly.
She part of the family.
Rico said earlier, Zamari, I don't know if you heard Rico say, man, look here, when you get picked on like that, you part of the family now.
Well, I appreciate it. Absolutely. I do. And I got to figure out how else to connect with y'all besides through this. I'd really like to do that.
Absolutely. I'm gonna try to see, can I get everybody's number, and with everybody's permission, I get everybody's number and I can send it out to everybody. So we'll have a different absolute contact with each other. Badger, you wanted to say something about that question I asked.
Yeah.
About the book.
Through my experiences, and this plays into the news stuff. When a particular religion, I'll just use that word, gets portrayed in such a bad light because of the toxic people that use the label that aren't walking the path. So let me make sure I'm clear on that. I'm talking specifically the toxic human beings that use the label of whatever religion it may be. Why would someone want to read something if all they see is the toxic side? That would require them to have to do research just like anything else, or come across someone that is good in that religion.
But is that within itself not research? Reading that book?
That's why I said it ties into the news stuff. So to me, the answer to your question is difficult when you bring in the religion aspects of things, because depending on an individual's experience, just like the experience they have growing up, if they believe the news or not, is going to greatly alter if they're going to believe anything else.
But see, my thing was, Badger, when I posed that question, I said a lot of spiritual people is going to say the Bible, but I'm saying outside of the Bible. So, you know, to tie both of
I'm
those
speaking
together.
outside the Bible, the Torah, the Buddhist way, like
My thing was leaving religion out of in a book that had absolute the truth about everything. We're not talking about on the religious side. We're not talking about that. We excluding that part.
I think
This
if
particular book.
if that book had no toxic comments about it, I think more people would read it than we would realize. But when something is presented in a negative manner, there's a lot of people that will hear that and won't do the research to find out if it's good or not. That's what I was trying to get at.
Okay, I understand, but I'm trying to understand the negative aspect of what you're talking about, because this book has all the truth about everything that happened, how it happened, who did it, who didn't do it. I'm trying to understand, and we got to get out of here, man. It's 10:17.
All right, real fast. If all of the social media, all of the news channels, here's this book that has all this truth in it, right? But if all these different things are saying that it's wrong, it's full of lies, that's going to alter the perception. But if they all come on there, and the people that the role models come on there and say this is a book of truth, and everyone's in agreement on this, you'd be surprised at how many people would read it.
Zamari, say what on the thing, Zamari.
I said truth in itself can come off as toxic to those who aren't lovers of truth.
That is also a fair statement.
Truth hurts.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing about it right there. Truth. And my question actually goes right back to that movie. What he asked the question: can you you can't handle the truth? You can't. And he said he broke it down. He said you can't handle the truth, because if I told you the absolute truth, you couldn't handle it. Everything that you couldn't handle, the fact that everybody that you think is in your corner really don't care nothing about you at all. You can't have the fact that all these possessions that you think are yours, they don't belong to you. You can't handle the truth about, you think you're going to live to be 100 years old, man, you're going to die tomorrow. Now somebody say, man, look, I got plans the next 5 years. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. And somebody come up to us and say, man, look, I got this news, man. You're going to pass tomorrow, brother. I don't know why you're making all them plans. What you making them plans for, man? You better enjoy this day, because this your last. Because people can't, there's certain truths people can't deal with.
And that's the reason why it's hard to really straighten out a lot of the things that's going on in our communities, based on both of the topics we had about how that mother was with her son, and understanding that this agenda with the media is also with, not just with the news, it's with music, videos, video games, movies. The healthcare system there's so many different things that's in place that promotes this agenda to keep us under control and distracted and in order, but at the same time in chaos and out of order for what's naturally best. These man-made things, man, that has us, distracted from really what's the real priorities of life, and like what Curtis said earlier, the self-preservation, that number one rule. That has to be that type of mindset when you are consuming this information.
Exactly.
Pretty much with anything you do, you have to have that mindset of the best interest of mankind, self-preservation of life, and those things. But the truth hurts, man. And some of the truth, people would rather accept the illusion. I've had many people tell me, man, I really hate that you actually showed me this, because now I'm depressed.
Man, why you had to come and show me all that, man? I don't even want no jello after seeing what I just seen. But it's just crazy.
A lot of people don't want to know what their food is made out of.
Yeah. All the stuff that's in the food that they're consuming. Absolutely. And Badger, I actually, let me see, I think that was Badger. Yeah, I actually have that book, Badger. I have that one. I actually have it upstairs. Raheem Maker. Yeah, I have that book upstairs. Curtis,
it's an amazing book.
Yeah, it is. Curtis, anything on your heart before we get out of here, brother? We're going to get out of here. We're going to stay here about 3 more minutes, so everybody give me your quick version of what you're going to say, and we're going to close it out. Curtis, anything on your heart?
Lord, one, I heard somebody say about propaganda, about news being propaganda. News is only propaganda when the news is owned by a propagandist. News is exactly what Sister Willow was talking about. News is specific for current events. Now, if you got a propagandist that's running and or controlling that particular entity, it becomes propaganda. But I'm going to piggyback with something you just said. You can't handle the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Lieutenant Caffey, we live in a world that's surrounded by walls. And those walls have to be guarded. Who's going to do it? You? See, I have a problem with those very same people who say that they want to live under freedom, but then question the very freedom I provide. I'd rather you just say thank you and move on. Let's take it further move.
Good.
Let's take it further move.
Mm-hmm.
That is a powerful statement. How you going to ask for the freedom, ask me to guard your freedom, and then question the very means that I provide, how I provide that freedom? I'd rather you just say thank you.
Exactly.
And move on.
Good deal. Good
So,
deal.
now I just wanted to say that, man. I just wanted to say that.
Good deal. Now, Annette, anything on your heart?
Hey, everything's on my heart. Hey, we you know what? Like Willow said, let's go. Let's do the things that we need to do for people, right? If the news is not right, let's make it right. Because, I forget someone said, that we are sovereign. We have our inalienable rights. Let's get it in. I'm so mad about these cell phones because, when you call somebody's house back in the day and the phone was busy, you could drop by because they were at home.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have it that way these days. But you know what? Let's bring back our foundations. All I can say is let's bring back our foundations. Let's write our own news. Let's snatch our children, our adults who's ever in hell. Let's snatch them out. And let's go to build our foundations, because, we don't want our foundations on sinking sand. No, that's out. No, we want our foundations to be solid. And that's what's on my heart.
Exactly. Cassandra, we closing it out with you, sis. Anything on your heart? Come on, talk to me.
Yeah, what I would say for those that think that the news is nothing but falsehoods and propaganda and all that, then what do you propose to do when there is a hurricane coming and they're trying to tell you in your area or a tornado? You don't want them to say anything. Just let it come through, kill you, your family, destroy the whole neighborhood. Y'all don't try to get out or anything. Don't give me no news because everything y'all say is come on, guys. We're bigger than this. Really? We don't want to believe. Okay, if all the news is propaganda and lies, what the heck are you getting? Where are you going to get your information about what is going on around you? Just tell me that. Just tell me that. I don't get it. All news is not propaganda. All news is not lies. That's just common sense.
Wow.
That's just common sense. So we need to not say all news is propaganda. All news is just lies. Come on now. We know better. We know better.
Wow. Look. Auntie done came into the room and chastised everybody.
Can I speak?
Yeah, go ahead, Miss Hicks. We got to get out of here, but go ahead, brother.
Well, not all news, not all anything. There's never all. Everything's duality. There's good and bad, right and left, up and down. Being able to discern it. Sure, you want to know about hurricanes and stuff. But what I'm saying, all the news head be saying the same thing on a political, economic kind of issue when it's a lie. All I'm saying is lies are lies. and you got to be able to sort it out, because we're in that time when there's a battle between truth and falsehood, and we're in the middle of that war. So I watch the news, I watch them all of it, but I can't say all about anything, all about a race, all about a group. There's no absolute. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I came up from the nation when that book, The Message of Black Man, opened my eyes. I didn't trust anything they ever told me. I didn't trust the history they gave me. And as I researched, the history they gave me was not true. Not even the history of this country, not even the history of anything, mathematics, anything. It's all been lies. So I'm a suspicious-minded person. I'm a bit paranoid. And that makes me sane, because I know they're out to get us. They've been trying to destroy us from the very beginning. So that's my side.
Good deal. Good deal. And then here come Uncle coming in and shutting it down. Boy, I tell you, boy, Auntie and Uncle, they acting up today. Listen, Rico, what is going on at 3:00 today?
With no narratives and no spins. If you missed today's broadcast and would like to hear or see the rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Good deal. Willa!
Hold on.
Willa! Is she here?
Oh my God.
Raheem,
come on, let's go.
Hold on.
Raheem.
Let me do it again. I'm doing this for Mr. Hicks this time. Willa!
Hold on. Say it.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Raheem, come on. I am so ready. I tell you.
So
I promise
ready.
you, I am so ready to receive God's word. Come on, Raheem. Let's go. Let's go, Raheem.
Now, hold on now. Now, you sure you ready?
I'm ready.
She ready?
I am ready. Come on, Raheem.
You hear that?
Let's go.
You hear that? You hear that? Let's go.
Come on, y'all. Let's go to the throne of grace this morning. I tell you, it's none like laughter. Come on, let's approach it. Let's approach the throne with boldness, with that joy, with that confidence that we are expecting some things to happen from our Lord and Savior. Father, we thank you this morning. We thank you, Lord, for allowing us to keep up communion one to another. Father, we thank you. Thank you, Lord, for all those things that you've done in our lives, Lord. Father, we thank you, giving you honor, giving you praise, Lord. There's nobody like you, Lord. There's nobody like you, Lord. Father, some people have searched and seeked to find something different. But Lord, I tell you, there's nobody like you. Father, we stand on your word, Lord. Father, we trust you, Lord, even when the enemy tells us not to. Father, we thank you, Lord, for being a protector, Lord, for us, oh Lord. Father, I thank you for your grace and your mercy, knowing, Lord, that I don't deserve it sometimes because I don't follow your word, Lord. Father, I'm thanking you for your word, Lord, that you sent your word to heal my child, my mother, my father, my sister, and my brother. I thank you, Lord. I thank you for all of that, oh Lord. Father, I thank you for not having me to be ignorant concerning those things that I should know, Lord, when it comes to death, oh Lord, when it comes to sickness, oh Lord, when it comes to being comforted, oh Lord. Father, you said it in your word that you will not have us to be ignorant. Thank you, Lord, when you tell me to cast my cares on you because you care for me. Oh, Lord, thank you that you care for me, Lord. Thank you, Lord, because I know that you won't fail me, Lord, regardless how the outcome turns out, Lord. I'm trusting you that you did the best for me, Lord. I thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. And glory to God. I'm asking you, oh Lord, to be a people, oh Lord, for each and every last one that's on your life, Lord, that's on your life, not mine, not Raheem, not Morning Glow, but Father, It's your line. It's your plan that you orchestrated in our lives, Lord. And thank you. Thank you, Lord, for allowing us to be obedient to your word, Lord. I thank you. Oh, Lord, I just thank you, Jesus. I had 10,000 tongues, Lord. I couldn't thank you. I thank you, Lord, for all you do, Lord. I just thank you. Thank you, Lord. I got a praise of thanksgiving on my heart and on my mind. Thank you. Thank you. Keep TKO Radio 141. Keep it successful, Lord, in your word. I thank you. That's why him and his family safe. He's been protected a lot of Holy Spirit to be surrounded by us all, Lord. Giving honor and glory to you. In your son, Jesus' name. And your son for dying on Calvary for you and I, but for them and us, oh Lord, for our sins, now, then, and in the future. I thank you, Lord. I honor you, glorify you. In Jesus' name. Amen. Hallelujah. Giving praise and honor to our Father, Lord. Come on, thank you, Lord. Amen. We thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. Ooh, we glory to God. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. Thank you, Lord. Ooh.
Amen. Look at here.
It's like hearing my mother pray. I'm serious. The spirit of my mother has touched me every time.
Wow.
Just like powerful, personal, sincere.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sometimes you get a glimpse of those you lost through other people.
Yes, absolutely.
Something. Okay, I'm out of here. I gotta go.
All the thing we gotta do now, Hicks, is from now on when you get a little mad, you gotta quit running. you know,
I know.
He'll run in a minute now. He'll take off.
Hey, always keep in mind Willa at the end of the show, man. Just hang on.
Just hang on. Look at that joker boy. He'll put them sneakers on in a minute. Well,
that joker said, you know what, man? I'm done with this. No, man, Willa coming. Just calm down. Willa coming.
Exactly. And we got something. And I want everybody to do this for me, and because moving forward is something else that we're gonna do to end the broadcast. After we'll pray, we're gonna go to somebody and let them do some words of wisdom that we can live by. So I want everybody to write something, have something that if you got something in your heart, come go on to somebody different, probably every day or every other day. I'm gonna go to somebody different, ask for words of wisdom, something short. It ain't gotta be nothing long. And we're gonna start off with Toussaint. Toussaint, talk to me, brother.
You can learn a lot from a dummy. But when you said that, I thought about Philippians 4:8, because you got to be careful about what you think about. So Paul talks to the Philippian church, and he says, "Look, this is the last thing I'm gonna say to you." He says, "Finally, my brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report. If there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things." And that's just about all I'm gonna say.
Good deal. And on that note, man, I hope everybody have a safe and a very good eventful weekend. Oh, and just for the record, y'all, I went a couple of days ago because y'all know I had COVID. I went a couple of days ago. I just said, let me go over here and take another test. I want to go over here and let these people give me another test just to see what's going on and see where I am. And I was nervous, man. I was like, man. I said, man, good Lord, I don't want to look at this doggone computer screen and it say something I don't want to see. But I went, man, and took the test. And a day later, they tell you don't go on the website and your results will be on there. And they say go at 12. And so about 12:30, I started to get nervous. About 1 o'clock, I said, man, I was out running around, so I couldn't check. When I finally got home about 3, I said, man, they ain't called me. So it might be some good news. Man, I pulled that doggone thing up, man, and looked at the results. Boom. I did this here. And I looked at it, and to God be the glory. It said negative. I was like, wow, that's good. That's good. So I'm back in business. So I just wanted to share that news with you all, man. But look, I did this here, man. But listen, it's been a great broadcast. What time is it, man? 10:36, man. Y'all owe me for a lot of time today. Man, we done been on here 3 hours, almost 3.5 hours. I'm looking at the clock.
You were actually on time this morning. I was shocked.
Badger, you ain't have to say that, Badger. We're doing good. You ain't have to say that now. Look, you ain't have to say that. We've been on here for 3 hours and 25 minutes. God almighty, that's a long time. But Zamara say laugh out loud. But listen, we better get out of here, man. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:37. You're about to exit the Morning Glow, but before you go, I want you to do me 2 favors, if you will. 1, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number 2, why this is real simple, I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Now we shine some of this light in you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other, and please, please, please be blessed. Give somebody some love and truth. Have a great weekend. Talk to you Monday morning. God say the same.